That's funny. I never got your list. It must have fallen out of the sleigh. Something like bangers and mash. Christmas.
Oh, hey, we're live.
Anthony.
Look at this. What's happening, guys? It's Thursday. It's the day after Christmas. The live Q&A here on the Rag Company YouTube channel.
Today we're testing popcorn.
Today we are testing popcorn, Morgan.
We
Correct.
Wow. It
Great
is good to
time.
be back.
So we hope you guys had a great Merry Christmas, a wonderful time with your families. Perhaps if you're Jewish and you're celebrating Hanukkah, it's been a great time for friends and family.
Oh, Dane.
Oh, the son of the Rag Company here, Dane Hennen,
Wearing.
rocking the SNS Dixon collab.
Wow.
Very nice.
Yes.
Great stuff. So, Dane, you got a lot of Dixons for Christmas.
Well, I got one.
You got one, but your family did. Your mom got
Yeah.
your dad one.
Yep.
Your brother got one.
Yep. And my mom got one.
Your mom got herself one.
The black and purple.
Yeah.
Put the
Really
Dixon
cool.
back
Yeah,
Looks
it was a good
dope, right?
choice.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
picked that
really
one
like
out
that.
herself. It's pretty rad.
Nice.
So that was nice. The whole family got in on the Dixons.
Yeah.
Jeff Hennen, president, CEO of the Rag Company, walking around in his Imperial.
No.
Very nice. Very nice. So we're all, and Anthony's rocking the Easy Street this today. Very nice.
Or you
Very
can just call
festive.
it the
It was a
picnic
Third
basket
Street.
Third
liner.
Street. Very festive. Great,
Oh, very.
great Christmas.
It's very
Wow.
vibrant.
Very vibrant. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Can't miss it.
So, guys, we are here, live Q&A, the Popcorn Factory popcorn brought to you by the McMurry family.
Oh, very nice.
Morgan's parents stopped by, brought this
Nice.
along with some Starbucks. So I want to say thanks to Mama McMurray and Matt for bringing these in to us to sponsor this live Q&A.
Very
Absolutely.
thoughtful.
Very nice. All right, let's get into this, shall we?
Yes.
Dan Pfeiffer, word up from Minneapolis. Hope the TRC had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. Can you put ceramic coating on fiberglass gel coat? If so, any specific coatings that would work best? Not a marine application, FYI.
Oh.
So, Dan, this
Maybe
is
an
a little
RV.
bit above my wheelhouse. So I would reach out. One, talk to Ivan LaCroix.
Yeah.
Reach out to Ivan. He'll know. I will say this. Fiberglass is a very different animal. It is very porous. So most ceramic coatings don't have enough body to fill in all those pores. Think of it's the easiest way to describe it. It's like a sponge, like a cross section of fiberglass. When you get up on top of it, it looks kind of like a sponge. It's got a lot of pores you got to fill.
Kind of like when you put a stain or paint on wood, it's going to soak up a lot of that stuff before it actually really shows.
Yeah. So I would reach out to some of the folks that are more into that. Mavenate creates an actual fiberglass coating that's actually really impressive.
Well, and Optimum's got Gel Coat Restore. That is
They do have Gel Coat Restore. So there might be a couple different options, but I would talk to Ivan LaCroix. He's very well versed in fiberglass and knows the kind of ins and outs of it. And I would recommend more of a marine application for that. As to like your normal Corvettes and stuff, those are fiberglass bodied, but then they are painted, primered, painted, clear coated, all that normal stuff made with fiberglass mat, where things like gel coat are infused.
You're talking about
color.
RVs and boats and stuff. He says not marine, so I'm assuming an RV, but
yeah, I'd reach out to Ivan. He's big in the RV industry and knows a lot about that stuff, so he'd be able to help you out with that. Ryan Ellinger, I have a blue Mustang that just doesn't like Beadmaker. Every time I put it on, it streaks. I use the orange FTW and it works on all my other cars, so I have no idea how to make it work with any ideas?
Well, quick question. Then could that be like the guy who had the 3 Series that Anthony helped when he came in with the 3 Series? It's like, I swear, Beatmaker's just not going on it. It's not working right.
Yes.
What did you end up doing to help fix that?
Thanks for having me, Dane. So the way I actually ended up fixing that was by polishing out that panel and removing his existing protection. Now, this particular example had a lot of different things on it.
It did.
So he was one of those like topper crazy people.
Correct, yeah. So he had a sealant. He had 2 different sealants on there, and then he had topped it with a wax, and then he had recently gone over it with a detail spray. And then after the detail spray, he applied Beadmaker, which caused some insane streaking. So what it could be, though, Ryan Ellinger, is that you might just love that blue Mustang so much, almost too much, to the point where you've put too much stuff on it, and so when you go to put on Beadmaker, it is just not playing nicely with the other products that you have on there.
I would recommend using some alcohol.
Use some alcohol. Try to clear out what you can. I'm not saying you have to polish the panel, but like Levi said, a paint prep or an IPA wipe down might remove maybe whatever top coat you have on there currently, and kind of level things out for you to reapply that Beadmaker and have it stick.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. See ya. That's it.
Thanks
That
for
was a
stopping in.
fairly good point.
Hans, hello, family across the pond. When will those brush thrones be available? Soon, Hans, hopefully. But also, Merry Christmas, brother. Jeeper1378. Ryan, I find it best to spritz my FTWs down with water before using 007 or Beadmaker. And then Jeeper says a question. I stripped everything off my OptiCoating. Only product I've used is OptiSeal while drying. Would HyperSeal have any bonding issues over OptiSeal? No, it would not. Ricky Colon, hello from Puerto Rico. Rectangle swinging in. Mads Hagberg, hey, how can I remove those hard water spots on my windshield? Well, Mads, if you've got a compound, one easy way is take some steel wool or a scouring pad for cleaning dishes and put a little compound on that and clean the glass. Basically, rub the front windshield that way. That should help remove some of that. Also, if you have a polisher, you can use a polishing pad or a light cutting foam pad. And same thing, put a compound on and just buff the front windshield. You might have to make a couple passes, but it should take most of it off. So, Jay Wills, Merry Christmas, everybody. And then Scott Weaver, what happened to the 12 days of
I'm guessing he's saying
Christmas sale?
Oh,
it was happening. It was 12 days of Wowos is what
Yeah.
we did this year. That's what you're wondering. So we were doing a unique item with every Wowos purchase, depending on the day. That's what it was, Scott.
And once they were up, it was gone.
Yeah.
So
Acadia Wash Shop in the house early. Very excited. Rectangle, what paint do you recommend for Toyota soft paint? Or what pad? Well, it depends on what you're doing with it and what you're using. If you're using a polishing pad or polish, I'd say just either orange or black foam is the safest and easiest way to go. Hans, yay, dancing. I guess they could see us dancing. Yoshi, I don't think those arrows for the loading screen work for mobile.
true. Yeah. In that case, your chat box is below rather than to the side. But it's designed for people on a computer. Yeah.
Christopher Beard, hope everyone had an awesome Christmas. Wanted to share a little accomplishment I had this week. 2 months into my new job, and I was asked to lead our nationwide company call to help other inspectors. Awesome,
Boom,
Chris.
dude.
Yes.
Great work. Yes.
He's moving up so fast.
So fast. Remember when he went in for an interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
It wasn't even that long
So,
ago.
Congrats, dude. Way to work hard. Jason Davis, Merry Christmas, TRC gang, H&M Auto Detailing, Hello Rag Company.
Hello, right back.
Arcadia Wash Shop, what's your recommendations for pads for basic one-step with a cheap short throw polisher? Orange flat foam with a cheap short throw polisher and hyper polish are a great combination. Can do a lot with that one.
Yeah.
Nick Stamos, Merry Christmas, TRC. I just got my car door resprayed. How long do I have to wait until I can recoat it with OptiCoat? Cheers. What do you guys think? New paint on a door panel.
That's for Dane to tackle. You do it, Dane.
If I recall correctly, as far as resprayed areas, the paint needs a chance for probably a month. Isn't that
Depends
about
on
right?
the area. Yes, you're on the right
I would
path.
say you're in the month ballpark if you're going to be putting a coating on it. Granted, it differs because some things allow for breathing and expansion and contraction. Other products do not.
Right.
So it really depends on what coating you're putting over it. He says OptiCoat. So, I mean, in that case, I'll pass it back off to you. But that's my take, is I would give it a little time.
Very good. 2 questions. Where are you located? And what's the ambient temperature going to be for that panel? It's going to be winter. If it's going to be winter for that panel to off gas, as they call it, you're going to be waiting a lot longer than a month because the panel isn't going to have the expansion capability to heat up.
Now, if he's in Arizona,
if he's in Arizona, then Dane's talk of a month, you're good to go. But if you're up north here, like in Boise, even though we had some nice days, it's still going to be cold. And so you'd want to also, is that car garaged? Or is it going to be sitting out every night in freezing conditions? So those are things to check on. But really anywhere from a month to 3 months is where you're at, depending on the weather. If it's sunny and warm, and you'll have it ready in a month. If you are in the cold and it's frozen and all that, it's going to be about 3 months.
Feel free to add to the question if you have more details for us.
Mark Geddes, hey guys, big fan from the UK. Love your edgeless cloths. When will the new drying towel reach the UK? Thanks. Well, we're hoping to have everything ready to launch about a couple weeks for the new gauntlet.
It's not far away, guys.
Nope.
It's coming.
And
in
our goal is to hopefully have the gauntlet in stock at Clean and Shiny UK and Rag Company Europe when we go to launch it here in the US.
That way nobody has to sit and go, aw, and wait.
David Timothy Duvall. Hey guys, have to dash off to family Boxing Day function shortly. But wanted to ask, what's a good panel prep chemical after iron removal but before polishing? Any of your paint preps. So surface coating paint prep from PNS is great. Optibond or Optimum's paint prep is great as well. Also mixing up your own if you can get some isopropyl alcohol. Yeah. I like 93% and mixing it 50-50. That's me.
You can look up online.
Anthony likes using the 70.
Versions. But one of the big things to consider is what you're using. The panel
wipe is awesome.
Yes, also good. But one thing to consider anytime you're using a panel prep, if you're going to be using, say, like a coating from a particular company, if that company offers a panel wipe, I would suggest going with that company's panel wipe just to keep the chemistry kind of in the same chain of events there. Because a lot of people, when they install a coating from like another brand and they use just whatever panel prep they had handy, sure, it might work. Sure, there's some similarities definitely between products, but the way they're mixed is oftentimes meant to work exactly with whatever coatings that company offers. And you can run into issues if you use a different one, but not always. It's just if you run into an issue, why cause an issue if you don't have to? Well, let's see.
Aaron's. What's up? What's up, Dean? Back to David Timothy Duvall, and then a good post-polish down. IPA still okay at 50-50. Yes, happy holidays. You guys are the best. Good post-polish. We really like hyper polish, but we also like the last cut. Where you're at, and I'm assuming in the UK, you're going to have to check and see what you got available. But hyper polish is great, simple, easy to do. There is the last cut. I don't know where you're at, David, so you're going to have to give me a heads up. Brian G, hey guys, just did the survey and surprised to see you're here. This is the first time I made it in quite a while, listening while I'm making a new bed frame so the in-laws don't sleep on the floor.
Well,
Nice,
that's very
nice of
thoughtful.
you. Aaron, I know Christmas is over, but Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Happy New Year. Happy
Thanks,
New Year,
bud.
and Merry Christmas, Aaron. Nick Stamos, oh, and love Beadmaker. I just bought 5 gallons of it. Ooh.
Dang.
Post-polish wipe down. Not down. Oh, yeah, no, same thing. Use use your IPAs. Still fine for that. Gerald Rodriguez, I need a badass drying towel. What's the baddest you got? We have a lot of different ones.
And, you know, I
So-
feel like we can kind of go into detail.
Well, and
on
then his
some of
second
these,
question
so-
is, how's Beadmaker doing alongside promoting WoWo's detail sprays? Beadmaker still the best? Oh, great question, Jerry.
That is a great question.
They're both very different.
Yeah.
Beadmaker is a spray sealant. WoWo's Quick Detailer is a detail spray. So very different animals, but they do provide the same kind of benefits. So it's basically, what do you want? If you want to put on a spray sealant that you can use as a drying aid, perfect. If you want to try and use Beadmaker as a quick detailer, it's a little harder to do. But if you need a quick detailer that you can do everything with, WoWo's quick detailer's right there.
The quick detailer is going to cover a lot of bases for you in a hurry, and I know Anthony's going to want to weigh in.
Anthony's got a badass
because
drying
it was
towel.
kind of his baby. But to lay it out plain and simple, with the case of the polymer sealant of Beadmaker, you're going in with that product initially because you want to have some good quality protection. That's why that product exists. Quick detailer is more of a jack of all trades.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Anthony, take it away.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back here. I know I was away for a little while there.
Appreciate you stepping
enjoying
back in.
some delicious, fresh popcorn from Popcorn Factory. Really excited.
PopcornFactory.com.
Yeah, so thank you for
Pick up
Popcorn
your can
Factory
a day.
for sponsoring this Q&A today.
No, the McMurry sponsored
Wait,
Yeah, I
by giving
sponsored-
us that. Well, Morgan, your parents were here.
Okay, so that
They
wasn't-
brought it
They
in.
weren't.
that was not in the pre-show
Get
notes,
going.
so
That's all right.
we'll have
It's
Tim
okay. Just keep going.
adjust it on the calendar. So in terms of drying towels, what's the most badass drying towel you got? Well, I think it really depends on what your style is, what you're looking for in a drying towel. If you're looking for the most absorbent, if you're looking for the softest, if you're looking for the one that has the best feeling under your hands with how low the surface tension of your vehicle may have, there's a lot of different factors in that. But I would say most people will reach for the double twistress in terms of a badass drying towel. I think that with the gauntlet coming out, I think that'll be it'll be a one up over the twistress.
Especially the dark gauntlet.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the detail spray, the quick detailer is, it really is kind of you've taken a quick detailer and you've put in that quick detailer on steroids, and you have kind of what you have here. It's glossier. It's got a deeper color profile. It's got a slicker feeling, and it's got protection, and that's something that a lot of other quick detailers will have. But this is just so much more emphasized on that area. And yes, you can still use it for light cleaning, but Beadmaker versus Quick Detailer, yes, there are some comparable traits to it, but at the end of the day, I mean, Beadmaker is still a polymer sealant, and Quick Detailer is still a Quick Detailer. So
I will vouch for Quick Detailer in that it was the last product put onto my car about a month ago for a protective type product. I took it through a tunnel wash because, I like testing things and I'm lazy, so I'm going to take it through there. And you know what? It's still beating. So that's after a month and through a tunnel wash, and it's still beating.
That makes sense.
What kind of wash
but
did
it
you
doesn't make sense.
Did you buy
Dane,
the cheapest wash?
Well, so the reason why
think it's just 'cause
I'm
it's dry.
saying this because under Dane, I understand your point there.
Mm-hmm.
So what that statement would require you to know is the difference
exact chemistry of
well,
that car wash
well,
and
is
all
well,
the other stuff.
no, it's how well can you differentiate the WoWo's quick detailing beads from your OptiCoat Pro Plus beads?
Which is an excellent point.
Right.
How am I going to be able to tell the
Also-
difference?
Yeah.
Also, what level wash did you buy?
I got the mid-range one. I didn't go for the
So
full
then
one.
$7.
And I didn't go for the
So-
low
Got
one.
money.
I do wonder if
$10.
it had some
$10?
sort of wax in there or something.
So they usually do have a spray. So
Because I know they
so
put
a
some
car
kind of
wash,
protection on it.
Car wash does put a protectant on the surface.
There is definitely a difference
So-
in how that protection looks, though,
Right.
compared
that
to some of the other
that
products.
protection goes on the surface, and sometimes, a little secret here, guys, it is a silicone-based product to increase the level of gloss, but also the fact that your car will get dirty faster, so you can take it back in and get it washed again.
Sneaky, sneaky.
So,
yeah.
So that is the other question: is are you looking at the beads from the chemistry that they put on the vehicle, or the quick detailer, or the OptiCoat Pro Plus that's on the surface?
Now,
And obviously, I'm not a chemist. However, looking at it,
watching
I
it.
do see some. I do see some similarities in certain sections.
That's
of the
where
car.
a detailer would most likely be able to tell the difference in terms of the different style of beads. If you've used that product over and over and over again, right? That's something that would be pretty common to kind of see and point out after a while. Now, the reason why I ask this is because Dane has seen enough cars bead. He's seen enough products be applied, whether he was actively doing it or editing a video with it in it, or literally there on site as we're doing it, filming something. So
it's enough.
I believe that you know the difference. I believe that you know, but I want to point out that to most people who could be sitting there like, well, doesn't he have OptiCoat Pro Plus on his car?
And that's
well,
a
he
fair
does.
question. And yeah, that is definitely something to point out, because like anything, you take a certain layer of protection. Say in my case, the Jag does have OptiCoat Pro Plus on it. Definitely a great looking product in and of itself. That is my base protection, and it's some really good protection, no question. However, once it becomes contaminated, you got to decontaminate it to get those, certain hydrophobics and everything you like back. But also, if you put other products on top of it, those will mask the effects of the coating. And I like what you're doing with the little ring here, a little fire pit with of popcorn.
Fits perfectly.
But back to the point there, you will notice the masking of effects if you put quick detailer over it, which contains some protection. If you throw Beatmaker on it, obviously polymer sealant protection. There are differences in the characteristics of the beads or the water sheeting that you see from those products. So I have noticed differences, and having taken a non-protected car through the car wash, I kind of know what that looks like when it's done.
Right.
Because the C-Max is just like, it's a car wash car. I take it through a car wash. I'm not overly concerned with the
white,
quality
right?
of the paint. It's silver. Nobody really notices or cares.
Man.
Obviously, the trim starts to dry out. You deal with those things. But I deal with it on a case-by-case basis. I'm just not the insane detailer, like, psycho-focused on whatever it is that's bothering me. I'll kind of let stuff go. And that's understandable. That's not everybody, but that's just me. So, yeah, I'm probably driving some people nuts right now with talking about this, but I'm just trying to give you a sense of where I come from.
So one of my superpowers, besides knowing people's names, is watching water behavior on paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
So
I believe
it's
it.
true. That is true. It's weird, but I would.
He has hydrophobic vision, not X-ray vision, but he can
Well,
see
I'm not scared of water.
what kind of...
You absolutely are scared of water, though.
For a guy who can't
I don't
swim.
swim.
Yeah, so...
I don't swim, and I don't like large bodies of water. Freak me out. All
so
right,
let's go ahead and
TJ
get
Sands.
down here. Said something inappropriate. So we got Wrecked Panhandle says, if you guys had to paint your car... Oh, this is a good question. If you guys had to paint your car, what color would you go with?
I really like the blue on the Suburban. I think it's really pretty, the magnetic burst metallic wrap. But I do have one love that I really wish to reignite and actually not reignite, but just actually ignite, because I haven't had one before.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you want to have an affair with this color.
Can you?
Yeah.
What is it?
White.
What?
I just want white cars.
What?
That's just me. I have a red car. I've had black cars. I've had
Doesn't seem right.
silver cars. I've had
Yeah.
pewter. I've had
Seasoned pro detailer over here.
had
And he
lots,
wants white cars.
lots of different.
What about army green?
Well, that's a fun color.
like olive drab.
You're just talking about
kinda.
this is a
But
this
if
is
I
a
needed
functioning
like
color.
to create a fleet of vehicles in my house, I want to go just all white on everything.
I mean, that literally is like the fleet color.
That's what I want to do.
Just that Toyota
It's
single
just a clean.
stage
It's a
white.
clein
Not
look.
Toyota single stage white.
That kind they painted all the
I'm willing to
fleet
go with a
Tundras
little
in.
bit of pearl
Okay.
in the
okay.
white.
There you
I'm
go.
willing to add a little bit of metallic
want some
into
depth.
it. I want a little flake. I want a little sparkle to
There
it.
you go.
But I would like to go back to just white.
But not full on like 90s Lexus Cadillac pearl.
No, not that
Okay,
far.
not
No.
that far.
But I would like some pretty whites.
Okay.
That's. I think if I do, like if I were to.
I think the Japanese got it right with a lot of like Acura, Honda,
Some nice
white
colors. Some nice
gloss
colors.
and stuff.
Yeah.
NSXR comes to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'd go with white. What do you guys got?
Dane?
Going around the horn. it's hard because it's such a 90s color. But if a car is
Deep
done
Slate
right,
Pearl by Chrysler. That's your color.
I was thinking actually like an emerald color.
Oh.
Like a nice
Whoa.
a metallic
An old
emerald.
school forest green or
Yeah,
emerald?
I like British racing green, but I like it with a little more metallic in it.
I can see that.
It's very classic Jag color.
What if we wrap the Jag in a weird green?
You know,
We
the
should
Jag in a
prank him.
weird green would probably look cool.
It probably
I'm game for that. I would like that, but I like it like a darker, but with some depth.
like a jalapeno color shift.
Ooh,
Some green
I
metallics,
want it
little
like
bit
a
of gold.
green that initially you're kind of like
Green and gold, baby, color
and
of
then
money.
You catch it in
It's all
just the right
Dane.
light, and it just shocks
Dane
you.
Hennen
Like,
and
whoa,
his
what's
Jag.
going on there?
I think we should get $100 bill wrap for
Ooh,
you.
yeah.
Wow, nothing
that
could be
green.
further from my personality than covering my car in a
So make sure you bring your car on
Benjamin's
April
wrap.
1st.
Morgan, your color.
Yes, yours.
So I don't want anyone to get mad at me.
Nobody's gonna get mad at you.
If I could, I would repaint my car the color that it is.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you said you literally have to choose a different color, I would either choose Alpine White.
Yep.
Because when I was looking for a car, I was either looking for Alpine White or the color that I have now, which is steel gray metallic. If I literally had to choose like a non-OEM color, I would do like a Nardo gray. So still not far off.
Got it.
But
Nice.
like legit Audi Nardo gray.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, by the
Anthony.
way, there's an R8 at Audi in Boise right now.
Is there?
That's Nardo gray.
Is it used and is
No,
there
it's
over
brand- it's
200,000
brand new.
miles on it?
It's
Okay,
brand
I
new.
can't afford it then.
Well, you should at least go look. They have a hot chocolate machine in there, in case you're wondering.
Oh, you can get hot chocolate while you look at it.
Yeah.
But only if you make a
Anyways.
down payment on a car.
What color red would you choose for your cars?
You're so funny, Morgan. I do love red. I think it's nice. I think it's really
Paint all
it's-
everything Civic Red.
I love
Forerunner
the
and the
Milano
Evo.
red.
Yeah.
It's nice, but one thing I'm kind of finding is that it's a loud color, kind of like the shirt that I'm wearing right now. It's
miss
You
pretty
know,
loud.
that's your Civic Red shirt.
Yeah.
and
Milano
so
red.
He's Red
that's-
Ranger over here.
that's where I'm like, you know what? And I like red a lot, but I don't like love red. It's not
Really?
my favorite thing.
Doing like Marriott.
Everything you buy is like red, or
No.
like accented red. Or
So like I honestly I like black. I like black a whole lot, but I just as a detail I wouldn't do black. So
It's the only way I survive.
probably
with mine.
one of the more unique colors that I've seen that I didn't really have a true appreciation for until I saw it in person was that Ford that Ford Focus RS blue. That had that like it looks like it's like
That
a
is a
normal.
stunning color.
It looks like it's a normal blue, and then you get up to it and you find out that it's
got
metallic.
metal flake
It's like
and it's got some
bespoke
silver
paint up
and
close. It's
pearl
crazy.
and it's beautiful.
It's a wild color, and I didn't. And I,
Yeah.
the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh, I like that color, but I didn't know how much I liked it until I saw it in person. I was like, oh wow,
The
this
fleck
is.
in it is so different than what you think it'll be when you get up close to it.
It's
and kinda
crazy,
stare
man.
down into it.
Yeah, it's a good looking color, so I really like that.
Good call.
Aaron, is there any difference between using 50/50 IPA versus car paint prep like Car Pro or Racer, or are they both the same? So, Aaron, rule of thumb, if you're just wiping your car down and you're going to put on like some wax or just a normal sealant, 50/50 alcohol and water is fine. IPA and water is fine. You're never going to hurt anything. I'd recommend using distilled water and alcohol. That's the easiest way. But if you are installing a coating, I recommend utilizing the paint prep from that company. So if you're installing CarPro C-Quartz or C-Quartz UK or TI or TIO, whatever it is that C-Quartz has, if you're using a C-Quartz coating, I recommend you use C-Quartz Eraser or CarPro Eraser for that because it is a CarPro coating and prep. If you're putting G-Technic products on your car, you're putting the G-Technic Crystal Serum Light or something like that. I recommend you use
Exo,
G-Technic.
Halo.
Yeah, I recommend you use Panel Wipe. G-Technic's
Which
Panel
goes
Wipe.
back to my earlier point.
If you're going to use gloss coat,
Keep it in the
make
family.
sure you're
Yeah.
using paint prep because if that coating fails, that's the first question that company's going to ask you is what did you use as your panel wipe?
So don't open yourself up to that liability.
Exactly. So it's easy to just get that. Companies are usually the bottle's only about $10.
It's not
It's very
expensive.
simple to get and it's proper insurance. Also, those two products are usually made together. They are designed to work in cohesion. So make sure that you're getting that product because sometimes it provides leveling properties. It makes the coating come off level easier. provides a great wipe down, things like that. So,
At a bare minimum,
and
they're
allows
not gonna-
bonding.
They're not going to make a product that actively rejects what you're
Right,
trying to
exactly.
do.
Exactly.
You can count on that
So.
being at least a baseline.
Nick Stamos, I live in Brisbane, Australia. Super hot, and the car is garaged mostly. There you go, about a
Okay.
month.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Alejandro Bonilla. Hope all you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Happy Merry Christmas, Alejandro.
You too.
G. Davis, will you guys be incorporating more of the WoWo's line in the near future? Also curious to hear what Dane's favorite childhood memory of Christmas is.
Ooh.
Just Dane.
Just me?
Just
Yeah,
you,
just
Dane.
you.
Man, as a kid, when I was younger, didn't have a lot of money growing up, and it was really cool one year when I found like this full train set, like this really just awesome like Brio type train set going around the Christmas tree, all that stuff set up.
Aw.
And yeah, I just remember that and like little slot cars, stuff like that. Just things you like as a kid. Obviously, I was into cars at a very early age, so after a certain while, the regular stuff doesn't work for you. You got to get the weird hits after that, and that's how I ended up getting into my first car being an SVX and all that other
I
stuff.
understand, yeah.
So
it's
now
like you just go down that
certified
rabbit hole.
jalopnik,
It doesn't work
yeah.
anymore. You just gotta get that fixed. It's got to be stronger.
It can't just be
Harder,
a Supra.
yeah.
It's got to be like a weird one.
Yeah. Ryan Mull here, and I was going to apply for a job at TRC, but I see they're forcing you to work on the day after Christmas.
Not
So I'll pass. Thanks for entertaining those of us not having to work today. Oh,
That's
it must be
messed up.
nice, right?
Whoa.
Alejandro, survey completed. Thumbs up. Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you.
Yoshi, every time I try to type a particular question, it disappears after I hit send. Rip. Rest in peace. Sorry, Yosh.
Scary.
Carissa Thomas, thank you for the 12th day. Just what I wanted. I can't wait to try. I'll be looking at your vids on their use. Thank you, Carissa. We appreciate it. And G. Davis, apologies in advance. In the spirit of the season, I was challenged by a local clergyman to make it through an entire Q&A, asking only legitimate questions.
This
Well,
must be so hard for you.
cheers to you, G. Davis, for trying to be a better
You say
man this holiday.
clergyman or boogeyman?
Clergyman.
Could be a Bergie man.
Bergie man.
And George Zapata, hello
Yeah.
from San Clemente. Any product from WoWo's similar to Beadmaker?
I mean,
George, so we took some of the benefits of Beadmaker that we liked, and we put them in a lot of different stuff. So Crystal Sealant is a very strong polymer sealant. Quick Detailer is very slick
yeah.
and provides very great depth and gloss. So Showstopper provides absolutely insane gloss, but no protection.
Right. So if you were to look at this stuff and you would say, I'm looking for a sealant, like if you're breaking it down by category, they're going to be different from it. Now, if you're looking for certain characteristics, then you will find similarities. If you
Yeah.
want, like he said, maximum gloss, Showstopper is your product. But you're not going to get any protection out of it. If you're going to use a quick detailer, you're going to get a lot of slickness, a lot of gloss, and some protection that honestly lasts longer than any other quick detailer I can think of.
Yep.
And then the crystal sealant is not your average sealant. You're going to apply that more like you apply a coating almost, because it is going to be a little bit tougher. I mean, it's a really strong product, but ultimately the protection you get out of it, you're going to get a longer life out of that than you would
Right.
out of Beadmaker.
Yep.
So once again, trade-offs.
There you go.
All right, moving down
G.
the
Davis,
line.
Anthony, that shirt is the official uniform of the Bavarian Alps Pizza Hut. He got it when he was in the Bavarian Alps.
Speaking of the Bavarian, I actually can't tell the story. Okay, anyways.
Oh, wow.
How come drying towels work better when wet than dry? Because the moisture attracts more moisture when it comes to the
Water
microfiber.
always follows the path of least resistance.
So basically, yeah, I hope that makes sense. And so the water is going to be drawn to an already wet microfiber. It's actually going to resist it at first, and then it's going to absorb. It's kind of like fighting it away until it finally just says, "Okay, I'll take."
But then when it
do
absorbs it very rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Masterson's car care
Hey,
in
Greg.
the house
Greg.
saying that they were wishing that they had popcorn. Greg, are you working today?
Yeah, are you working?
Are you working? You got the day off.
You should get some popcorn.
Jamie the Cleaner, I'm also ready for this Grand Ambassador Battle Royale. Been doing some push-ups. He's getting ready for that Grand Ambassador of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
man.
I've noticed a few of them have been really up in their game on their story posts this weekend.
And we've noticed it's
I mean, they've
awesome.
been
It
pushing.
is. It really is
Everybody's been-
awesome. We think it's
Been
super
bumping
cool.
it up. Rectangle Beadmaker in God mode is the best thing ever. Oh man, the smells and the slickness.
The smell
It
is the real reason you
and that's
do it.
why it's called God mode. So I wanted to take this little second. So just so you guys know,
Yeah.
I am going to be bouncing out of here early.
Right.
I've got to go meet a new cousin.
Ooh.
not a baby cousin, a 44-year-old cousin.
He
A
just
man.
appeared.
A
grown
cousin,
man.
grown man cousin.
Is he from an alternate reality?
No, well, kind of. He was put up for adoption at a time period a long time ago,
Okay.
and he took a DNA test and found out he was related to our family.
Wow.
Oh.
And his parents were very young when they had him, and the grandparents were the ones that put him up for adoption, and they had told the parents that he had passed away. So
Are you kidding me?
the parents were very
Are you gonna
sad.
make a movie?
I don't know, but the parents were very sad.
Yeah.
They ended up staying together, being young teenagers. They stayed together. They got married. They had 3 girls. They have 4 grandchildren now. Their daughters have 2 of their daughters have each had two children. They're still married. They're in their 60s. And anyway, he took a DNA test and found he was related.
No
and
way.
we found out he was that son. So
So do they? Where does he live?
he lives in Colorado with his wife. And his wife is from Boise.
No way.
So her mom lives in Hidden Springs, and so they're visiting for Christmas. And so they said, "Hey, so we found out we got family in Boise.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you guys come say hi tomorrow night? We're gonna be having this. So that's what I'm doing tonight.
Nice.
my
He's gonna be
gosh.
headed out to go do that. And at Thanksgiving, he went down to Texas to meet
okay.
his parents and sisters
Oh, wow.
and nieces and
gosh.
nephews and all
So this
that.
is all real new for him.
Yeah, very new. So real exciting. So I'm
cool.
very excited to do that. So that's what I'm doing. One of the other things I wanted to say was I was holding it out for the gang here. One of my
Okay.
Christmas presents this year,
Yeah, I want to know.
MOSHQ, newest amenity, courtesy of my lovely wife, Carly.
Oh, wow. What's happening? What's going on?
Got a bidet.
What? No, you did not.
Attaches to my toilet.
Oh,
why?
What?
No.
How does that
Wonderful
work?
Amazon reviews.
No.
I feel like these
Is it
surveys
a-
are
is
going
it
to
like a
start
pump?
coming in.
Do you just squeeze the pump and it
I have
and it
no idea.
flushes
I
the
have
water
yet
from the
to
toilet up?
install it,
God.
but I am very excited to try it.
I think everybody's going to be excited and
It's gonna be
surprised once
impressive.
they try it.
The only thing I'm concerned about is power capabilities and wiring
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I'll have to figure
Wow.
that out. But
Wow.
That went somewhere I didn't think it
I
was going
wouldn't.
to
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
So-
guessed
It's
that.
fun and surprising,
it's
though.
fun and surprising. It had great reviews.
Heated water or cold?
Cold water. That's the only thing. It's not heated.
Ooh.
When he leaves, we're going to talk about some of these survey results.
gonna be
Some
a-
of
it's
how
gonna
this
be a-
conversation
It's going to be a cool blast.
pans
Yeah.
out.
But
Yeah.
just note, friends of the program, anybody come into the MOSHQ,
You have the option.
So
have
what-
the option.
Is it just one?
It's just
Or are
one.
you going to install this in every?
I don't know. We'll see how this goes. If it does, the 3 other bathrooms
I
at the
think you
MOSHQ.
should let your kids
Or
stay
2.
out of this
I guess I have
one.
3
I think you
bathrooms
should let
total.
them stay out.
I'm sure our European audience
I will
is just
tell
kind
you-
of like, okay, whatever.
I will tell you, Augie is very intrigued by it.
Oh.
So I have to
no.
ask, is this something that you have to calibrate?
Again, Anthony, I have no idea, but
each
what I'll
person?
probably
How
do.
you?
Here's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
I am making a
Target.
promise. I will be
Guys.
live streaming the installation process
Oh.
on the Levi Gates Facebook page. So if
Please
you have
just cut
not,
it short at the testing
if you
phase.
have
We
not,
don't need
if
that.
you have not gone and liked the Levi Gates Facebook
this
personal
real?
page,
you
like not,
definitely won't now.
not my personal, but public figure Levi Gates, go on there, like the page. I will go live when I do the installation sometime
Can
this
you
week.
start like a countdown so that we can look forward
I
to
can.
that?
That is probably what I will do. So it'll be part of the Master of Shine at Home series.
Oh boy.
That will be a launching
Just after Luke
soon.
left. That was
So
so unfair.
well,
impressive.
yeah. So
Yeah.
why don't we scroll
So,
back
all
up
right.
because we're missing a few.
We got some here.
Well,
Tim, if you want to go up
it's
a little bit.
there you go.
All right,
there you
here we go.
Perfect.
All right. So
Yeah.
Masterson's Car Care. Yes, I am working, Greg, says Greg. This is Greg. Getting ready for our new detailing class in Anaheim,
Awesome.
California.
Ooh, how
Good going,
fun.
man.
Nice, man. And then farther down, he states, just stop right there, Tim. We rescued an abandoned Mercedes, and we're going to begin restoring it. Rats destroyed the
Ooh.
entire engine wiring harness.
Oh, is that when they had
Rats.
the biodegradable wiring harnesses and stuff that
that'll be cool.
creatures like to eat?
Why would
would
they
be
make
nice.
that?
Yeah.
Why
We're
would
gonna
they
work
make
on-
that?
I
Because they
assume-
thought they were getting ahead of the environmental curve, and they got a little too
Oh.
adventurous, and it turned into a thing.
We made it out of paper
Rats like
mache.
to eat. Yeah.
Well, let's hope not.
Made
So-
out of treats.
Fire
Adam,
hazard.
hello, Radco
little.
team. Do you think it's possible to kill a coating with APC, such as Power Clean or Extra Tough, diluted 1-to-1 on full strength? I've had CSL and 1 coat of EXO on my car since April. So It's subjective. Some coatings can be fractured by straight power clean.
Ooh.
Not every coating.
It's tough stuff.
But some coatings can be. So your best bet would be to wash a car straight power clean, put it in like a pump spray or something, spray it down, let it sit for a bit, and then start washing. You can agitate it, scrub it, but majority of your coating will come off in the polishing process because you will have to polish and correct the surface, but it'll help.
And the other question too, so if you've had your car coated since April, I've had CSL and one coat of it since April. I don't think Power Clean alone might be able to break through it because that's still relatively new. But test it out. If you were like, 2 years into it, 3 years into it, that's a completely different story. Then yes, it would absolutely remove it. But you might have to just test it, see where it's at. Worst case scenario, you'll have to break out a polisher. But this goes back to remember my talk I had last time about the coatings things.
These days, it seems a very popular thing on social media is the torture test of various.
Well, and then a lot of people just want to remove their coatings because they want to try something new.
Yeah.
RAF says, all things being equal, what do you guys consider the most durable synthetic
And here we are
sealant?
right back at it.
At the moment, I really like Crystal Sealant as the most durable synthetic sealant.
And
on the market
you've
right now.
reiterated it's about a 6-month product, right? Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe if more. I think that there's a lot of great sealants on the market nowadays, and I think they're all a lot of them have a pretty equal playing field on a lot of them with different application methods. So it's interesting. One sealant that I was impressed by. We don't sell it, but the Turtle Wax, the new whatever spray sealant they had. I thought that one was pretty impressive for being an over-the-counter one. I think that one's great. But
they really upped their
like
game.
Levi said, right now my current favorite was going to be Crystal Sealant for sure.
Yeah.
Rectangle. Wow. Wait until he finds out he's cousins with the one and only Master of Shine.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm excited to meet him. So he's, from what I've heard of everything he's done with his life and him and his wife, they're pretty top-notch people, and I'm excited to know him.
It might be a case where you're even more excited to meet them.
I think so. So thank you, though, Rectangle. That means a lot. Adam, what if with fantastic performance, but after spraying extra tough on the hood, it's completely flat and just pools water, even washed with Reset to make sure there's no residue? Help and thanks.
So first he asked if it was possible, but then it turns
the last
into...
line, I've had CSL and one coat of Exo on my car since April with fantastic performance.
Okay.
But after spraying extra tough on the hood, it's completely flat and just pulls water. Even washed it with Reset to make sure there's no residue. Help and thanks. Adam, before you do that, try a fallout remover on that hood. Also, try wiping it down, like giving it a quick clay, and then washing the surface again.
See
and
if
seeing
the
you bring some of that
hydrophilic
hydrophobic
properties
back.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing to try. David M. planning to apply C-Quartz UK 3.0 in the spring and was going to use some Gion Prep I had on hand, but now you guys have me thinking I should buy a racer to be safe. Yes, do, David.
I mean, if you
Safest
think about
way.
the investment that goes into it, it's not a lot of money. And yes, some people will say, oh, you just wanted to keep in there so that they buy more product from that company. The reality is those companies make that stuff so that it does work in there. And yes, they hope you buy it, but that is going to be a liability if anything ever happens with your coating and you didn't use that company's prep. Just saying that. Yeah. All right, we're at Joe.
Joe says, "Happy holidays, guys."
Happy holidays,
and
Joe.
Dane, would you like to read the next one?
How soon will there be a bidet in Dane's truck?
I don't know.
Oh, dear.
We'll find out on the installation process and if it is something we can do for the truck.
Let's not.
Hans will fly over the bidet for testing,
That'll
says
be
G.
nice.
Davis. Masterson says, tell the guys to go look at my personal Facebook and look at the rat damage right now. Facebook, Greg Masterson. I know I'm friends with Dane. I want to see your reactions on camera.
Oh,
very
man.
Dane,
nice.
do you have your phone?
Let me take a
Let's
look.
go ahead and have you do
All right,
that.
let's keep reading.
Rectangle.
Oh,
Cool, Levi. I was
find
starting to
Pull
get
that
worried
up.
about how it will go after a night of Taco Bell, but now I see that the bidet will come in handy.
No.
Let's
Not
let's
going to
just
Taco
not
Bell
go down
for
that
dinner.
tangent.
So-
Let's
Can I
not.
just put in an executive order for no more bidet talk on this?
Yeah. I feel like the survey made
So,
it pretty clear.
Hans closing.
They
Better
specifically said
grab
no
a black
bidets,
towel when you go
specifically,
home.
Yeah,
as far as
Might
I
need
read.
to hide those. Yes, I won't. I'm not going to do the testing live. I'm going to do the installation process live. All right, Jeff C. Any thoughts on the Grios G8, G9 polishers for an entry-level enthusiast new to polishing? I've heard great things, Jeff, but I actually haven't had any seat time with the G8, G9 polishers.
This
you
is
didn't get a chance to really
true.
cruise around SEMA and actually get a play or look at the polishers. But from the reviews and things that we've read and seen, a lot of people love the Grios polishers.
That's definitely true there, Levi. Thanks for your input on that, and I think we all appreciate it. And it's time to move on to the next question.
Shine.
Corey's so
Signing off.
weird.
Yeah. All right, so we got a question here
Dane.
from Nick
I'm finding several things,
Stamos,
but none of them look right.
not to be confused with his father, John. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit here. Thank you very much, Tim. We got Levi. Do a Ted Bundy home improvement TV show on your new bidet toilet. Supercharge it.
I think he means like
Did he mean
Ted
Al Bundy?
I think he means either Al Bundy or he means Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Because
I
Ted
think
Bundy
he
is
means-
very different.
Home
Ted Bundy
improvement. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Think about it though. It could be a cool, cool thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Oh,
AFT
thank you,
Mobile
Greg.
Wash.
Here we go.
Hello, guys. Happy holidays. What's going on, man?
Did you find it?
Jeeper
Yeah, he just tagged me in a
1378.
post.
Okay, I've used my Soho sprayer with a pivoting head for a makeshift bidet.
Let's see it.
Messy day. It did not work. Felt good, though. Okay, that's gross.
Oh, no.
Jason Davis, are you
Show that
talking
on there, but
TW ceramic
That
coating?
is pretty crazy.
I don't know what you mean, Jason. TW ceramic coating. Oh, that's fun.
So,
Jason Davis or Larry Hernandez is Walmart's Auto Spa $20 polisher any good? Larry, again, it's $20. You could probably take the risk and see, but it is just a small random orbital polisher that is just gonna do,
Okay, this is
Rub
the
some
real
stuff, so.
thing he wanted me to see there.
Whoa.
That's a nightmare,
David, and that's okay.
man.
I love the way eraser smells. Anyway, there you go. Nice. Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of work.
Very fun.
That's a lot of work,
You weren't
dude.
kidding, Greg. That is wow.
Nick Stamos, message retracted. Masterson's Car Care. Tell Dane check his Facebook tags to view massive rat damage.
Just did.
And then Nick Stamos, sorry, my bad, wrong guy. I think
Yeah.
you did mean Tim the Toolman
Yeah,
Taylor
Ted Bundy.
from Home Improvement.
I love it when people make mistakes like
Add
that.
a little
though.
more
That's
power
kind
to
of
it.
That just
funny.
once
Right.
again humanizes everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unlike Ted, who
Hans is
dehumanized
not going to
people.
come over for the
Yeah.
testing.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
guys, I think we're running out of questions here. And you know what? We've made it an hour almost.
Almost.
45
You know
minutes.
what, though? I think this is a good time. If you got to head out, I understand that.
You're going to kick me out early? Jeez,
Well,
Dane.
no, you can hang out. But I
Yeah.
thought this would be a good time while some more questions populate there. We can talk a little bit about, lessons we've learned and some good stuff we can kind of take away from the survey going forward.
Okay.
I think there's some good stuff in there. I think there's some productive stuff. There was some not so productive stuff, but there was some good stuff too.
I will say everything that was sent was productive.
In some form or another.
It was productive.
Whether we take
But-
it as gospel or not.
Yeah.
Is
Now,
another
some of the mean-hearted things people said, not productive at all. But I want to thank everybody for at
Yes.
least taking the survey.
Oh, absolutely.
To have the number of people that replied on the survey is huge for us
Yeah.
to hear that. We really appreciate it.
Which, by the way, if you haven't done it already, go find the link. I posted it several different places, but look for the survey I posted in our link to this, video here.
Yeah.
Go fill it out. It takes like 2 minutes, but it's a great way to let us know how we're doing, what we can improve, what can be tweaked going forward. And one of those things, I'll just point out right away because I think this is relevant, is about the Q&A. And a big part of that is 2 hours versus 1 hour.
Well, and for us, the reason we did the 2 hours was just because it was something to do for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We just said that worked really well. But a lot of people we've heard didn't really care for some of the more personal stuff, or when we'd
They feel like they got to
start
fish
talking
for
about
the answers.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just mostly we do that because we're trying to wait for. I don't want to just sit here and be quiet
Right.
while you guys are coming up with your questions. So
Mm-hmm.
it's fun to tell stories and do the thing that we normally do in the main show.
Yeah.
Where we talk. But we do have a lot of great ideas. We are in the process of building a new podcast studio and facility for our production.
Yeah.
And we are going to be adding a lot of great elements to the podcast.
You'll have much more in the way of guest
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. We'll be able to have potentially like call-ins. You can leave voicemails or you can call us on the show and we can talk.
Mm-hmm.
There will be some of that stuff integrated, not right away, but over time we'll be adding those features as we figure out a good way to make them happen. But we have ideas, so at least we're going to
Right.
pursue that. So I think that'll be really fun.
Well, and that was
'cause
some of the-
it'll open it up.
And that was some of the great things that you guys were able to provide by doing doing the
survey
was we were able to kind of see like where we stand, what we're looking for, what we want to do,
and I have my
and where we want to go.
And some of that's been proven true through what I've seen on there. And I go, okay, yeah, we need to, at least when it comes to the detailing versus personal detail stuff, I always felt like push the detailing stuff to the front so that the people who are just there for their detailing info, they get it. And then, the fans who are like the hardcore true fans, whatever, you guys can hang out afterwards and it'll just be us talking, but we don't want to front load it so that those people just looking for answers end up being kind of turned away. Now with Q&A, it's a little harder because they come in real time, so it's kind of spread out that way. But we thought, by dipping it down from 2 hours down to 1 hour, it will tighten up the show. We will have more questions happen, hopefully, in that time frame. The reason for the 2 hours was because originally we were trying to leave it wide open so that people who maybe were traveling home and got home over the course of the Q&A could then dive in. Somewhere in that 2 hour window, it was a possibility. In an hour, maybe not so much. But if we make it an hour and we make it just the very last hour of the day, maybe then people have an easier time doing it. Yeah. But that's why I put up the different time slots. And like, if you're scheduling the Q&A, what time would you pick? And most everybody picked the time frame we already have it in, which was nice to see. But I started it clear back at like 11, a.m. or something like that. Yeah. And that was the one that got the second most votes. So clearly there's a window there where people are like lunchtime or end of day. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was very interesting to see kind of how the results came in.
All right, so
we can answer.
Jason Davis says, "Sorry, Anthony was trying to remember the turtle wax ceramic coating, I believe." So no, I was actually talking about turtle wax spray and seal. It's their ice line of sealant that I was actually referring to, if that's what you're talking about. Hans goes and says, "But I will be testing all of the other tools at the MOS, though. Better hide the good stuff."
You are always welcome at the MOS HQ, Hans. You know that.
I would like Hans to come stay at your house and give you the same.
He's more than welcome
that
to.
Luke Berkey got.
He and G. Davis are both welcome at the MOS
so
HQ.
Nice.
We may or may not discuss about a maybe like a donation wing or something that we could say like the G. Davis Hall of Expertise or something like that. Some sort of foundation or grant that is applied.
What I would like,
MOS HQ.
I would eventually like all of G. Davis's quotes from every single Q&A, right? Dating all the way back, every quote in a book. And I would like to frame that book, and it would just say quotes of G. Davis.
Yeah, the inspirational wing, North Hall, G. Davis North Hall.
Wow. So would this be an add-on to the house?
Be like
possibly, yeah.
Presidential library.
It depends on the grants that are available
right.
for things like that. But yeah, we can do that.
Ricky here says, "Guys, I know you've already mentioned upcoming larger WOA sizes, but I was wondering if the public's reaction response asking for larger sizes exceeds what you were expecting upon launch." I would say it was roughly what we were expecting.
It was in the ballpark.
I think that there's a lot of people that are expecting larger sizes, absolutely, but I think that we had a realistic expectation of what to expect as well, and us being people that do buy gallons. I mean, me and Levi only buy gallons of most of the stuff that we already have, that I totally get that. So
yeah, like interior cleaner, interior finisher, all-purpose cleaner, tire restorer, glass cleaner.
Levi wants a 55-gallon drum of these.
I need 55-gallon drums of those. Crystal sealant, I don't think needs to be in a gallon size. I think a pint is just fine.
I think if you are a detailer and you're detailing every single day, I think one of those bottles is going to last you a long time. I think that if you're a hobbyist or a weekend warrior, you probably only need one bottle of those in your lifetime.
And then the other gallon will be quick detailer.
Quick detailer could definitely.
I did 2 cars this weekend, and I also washed my 2 cars and cleaned them. So I used up almost a whole bottle of this between 4 vehicles.
Wow.
I've almost used up the whole bottle of this between 4 vehicles. I still have about half a bottle. And then with quick detailer, I'm already out.
Wow.
So
it kind of shows you the use cases for each.
Now one thing, leather cream.
Oh, go ahead.
I've had of the original formula.
Yeah.
And I just now am almost done with the bottle. And I've had it for well over a year.
Yeah, I've used half of my bottle.
Yeah, so this will go a long way. So there's a lot of great products in the line that are a good value in terms of what you can get out of them, and a lot of them that are able to be diluted. This can be diluted 3 to 1. So works great in that situation. And this can be diluted up to 10 to 1 and still get some great results. So
Yeah.
again, not really a necessity right off the bat to do gallons, but
FYI, I was referring to APC. For those
APC
listening
and
sometime in the future.
interior cleaner. But so we are working on that. Yeah.
But I would say, as far as we don't always reveal our full hand right off the bat, but just know that in order to get all those things happening, including larger sizes, there's a few more pieces that need to fall into place. And once they do, then it won't be a problem. But obviously, it's a progression. So we'll get there, guys. Don't worry.
Brian G says, so how long does the Optimum wax and the OptiSeal last if I clay with wax and then dry with OptiSeal? So, I understand exactly what he's looking. Okay, so he's wanting to clay with the wax, right? Obviously, spreading the wax in, which is going to wax the car, right? But then he's wanting to dry with OptiSeal, right? So going back to the whole thing of your longest protection should always be your base, and then you would top it with your shortest amount of protection. So OptiSeal is technically rated longer than Optimum spray wax, so that would be the appropriate way to do it. But I understand that you're wanting to be efficient and dry with the wax, and then clay with the wax and dry with the OptiSeal. So you're still going to get a good amount of protection. You're still looking at several months. I would just say that it may not stick maybe as well as the other way around. But at that point, it depends on how closely you're doing this stuff. Because if you're doing this back to back, you're kind of just making a cauldron of stuff. I'm sure something will stick in that.
At a certain point, when you're sticking all these different things, it ceases to be as effective as if you did it in a...
I don't think anybody's ever done any scientific testing on that very, very specific thing. So
that order of things, yeah.
So we got Austin Bentley says, about to buy crystal sealant to use on my wheels. Also check its compatibility with ceramic coatings. I'll let you know how it goes. So here's the deal, Austin. You can put crystal sealant on top of a ceramic coating. You can, but you just typically wouldn't need to because on its own, it's already strong enough and already has great hydrophobic abilities. Plus, you're also risking that. Well, you're not risking. It's just going to happen. Your coating is going to shed crystal sealant. So you're just kind of wasting a long-term coating on something that's going to try to shed that within a shorter period of time anyways. So that's kind of something to think about. We have several hoods here that we've tested on ceramic coatings. We know you can apply it to it. It just felt like a waste to us personally here. Whereas in terms of the cost and the use, something like Beadmaker, which is a little bit more affordable and goes on slick and wipes off slick, that seemed to make the most sense with going on coatings, even though coating would still shed Beadmaker with time. It's the same concept. It's just crystal sealant is so good on its own that I wouldn't use it as a drying aider. I wouldn't use it as a topper on a coating if it was me. So that's just the way I personally feel. But also, it'll work. And if you're applying it on wheels, instead of spraying the wheels, I totally recommend just spraying it onto a towel and wiping the product into the wheel with the towel and then coming back with another towel and knocking it off. That way you're not getting a bunch of overspray everywhere.
Yeah. But it is a great wheel coating. A lot of people in the UK, if you guys check out detailing,
there's a ton of people saying that they've done that.
It might have been the most popular applications for it.
Yeah, if you go to Detailing World forums and look up what was crystal sealant, a lot of people love using it for their wheels and have used it as a great wheel, as a very strong wheel sealant. So, Arcadia Wash Shop, Turtle Wax Seal and Shine is what he was referring to. Right. Brian G, I like the 2-hour format because I can't always make it for just an hour. I usually listen on the way home from work, which is sometimes in that 2 hours you have it. Any other time I can't make it.
And see, that was one of the reasons we originally designed it that way. However, I do want to point out, unfortunately, there's a strong case to be made for moving it to 1 hour. And it's, we'd love to go for the full 2 hours, but it seems like a lot of the audience and a lot of the people who listen would prefer it to be shorter so it's more densely packed. So that is a strong consideration, but there's a lot more people saying they feel the same if it was shortened, and more people saying they would like it shortened than people saying they'd like to keep it 2 hours.
But people can start it and stop it whenever they want, right? Even if we are live, they can rewind it to the...
You can even pause the live stream, and then it'll just play, like a DVR. It'll play from where it's at.
Yeah, so that's a possibility, too.
Anthony?
And we
just did the G Davis one.
You just did the G Davis.
This one.
Oh, okay. Is the MOS HQ reservable online?
Not yet, but that is one of the many features that I hope to implement into the MOS HQ.
An online calendar, correct? That you'd be able to check in,
Yes.
pay ahead,
On Airtable.
Find
local things nearby your stay at the MOS HQ.
Yeah.
Hans goes and says, I will come in secret and ring Anthony's Ring doorbell 10,000 times. Well,
Hans, I will drive you to Anthony's so that we can do that.
You could do that if you wanted to do that. Jeeper 1378 says going to miss the Ivan cameos.
You won't be missing any Ivan cameos.
Ivan's
still
going to be back
planning on
having
having
here again.
many more Ivan cameos. So
just because he works at a different company doesn't make it any different as far as him appearing, and he'll still be giving the same old good advice he always does.
All right, Dane, please, this next one.
Oh, boy. That's a huge quote book, Anthony. We may need volumes. Introduction and Forward by Squim's own Dane Hennen.
Very
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Squim.
Way to really
I
make
can't
it.
wait to receive that. At the
And you know
end.
you're from there if you know how to pronounce it, because everybody else
First
says
I thought-
Sequim.
First of them, I thought it said
Squims.
sequins.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like,
Sequins.
sequins.
No,
Yeah.
I know
Dane.
Squim. I see it in the sentence. I know.
Squim's own. I love that. Squim's own's Dane Hennen.
So good.
Wow.
All right, Dream Detailing. Why does Beadmaker sometimes leave streaks that look like high spots even under optimal conditions? Also, how do I avoid it? Dream, alcohol or paint prep wipe down. Best way to prevent that. Also, if you're in a high humidity area, use less product on the car, more product on the towel.
Same amount of product, just different ratio on towel versus surface.
Brian G. Nope, don't do it back to back. I did it several cars and told them about 6 months. Was that too optimistic?
In regards to...
No, we
I
don't do it
forgot
back
what he
to
was...
back.
Yeah. Austin says, I know what Brian G.
hold
was
on,
talking
hold
about.
on. Oh, he's talking about the wax and
plane
sealant,
then-
yeah.
Oh.
Nope, I don't do
Yeah,
it back
6
to back.
months is about right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you're fine. And then Austin reiterates, I know that Brian G. was talking about Yvonne and Dr. G advertised clean with Optimax and dry with OptiSeal due to the migration of OptiSeal underneath of the wax. Somehow, I don't know.
That totally is possible. I mean, Dr. G knows more about
knows that stuff.
he knows more about how the polymers would work and
And
how that would be able to work
He
together.
probably watched
fairness,
it
then-
microscopically.
That's in one of our old videos. They actually talk about that. Unfortunately, we've made so many, it's hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah,
I know
so-
Ivan very well could have mentioned that.
And that
previous
just
video.
goes back to the whole efficiency thing. I mean, that's where it's like, I think a lot of those things wouldn't even be things unless Dr. G said that was possible to do. So I don't think that they were just saying that. I think it truly is a thing. So in that case, yeah, I know that we haven't done enough testing on that personally, but I mean, I'm sure if they've said it, I'm sure Ivan's done it countless times. So I would ask them if they had a better idea of longevity.
If you're on Facebook, just ask him. Ivan responds pretty quickly to stuff.
Yeah.
G. Davis, please have Hans buy and sponsor the second hour. Hans came back with that with G. Davis, all my pennies are in the TRC bank account already. Bill Lewis, is crystal sealant appropriate for PPF?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally fine. And then K-Child, good day from Australia. Glad to catch you live, even if it's because I broke my ankle.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, man.
Now-
What'd you do?
I did want to put this out just so everybody knows. If you are one of our Australian listeners and you are going to be going to Summer Nats next week,
I am?
you are?
I am.
I don't think you are.
Oh.
Oh,
You're not an
Well, he's
Australian
not.
listener.
no.
So for our friends in Australia, Summer Nats is going to be next week, January 3rd through the 5th, so next weekend. And if you are going, check out AU Car Care Co. In booth number 12 in the...
To see Wowo's Car Care in person.
You can actually, Mark Perch of AU Car Care Co. will have the Wowo's bottles. They're not available for purchase yet, but
you can see them.
you can see them, you can smell them, you can check them out, you can look at them in person, ready to go, and actually enjoy them. If you're looking to pick up any Beadmaker, any of the PNS products, Mark will have those available as well as Rag Company towels, so you can check that out too.
Yeah.
I am getting let me just pull it up here so I can make sure I got all the info. So yeah, you will be he is at booth 12 in the Rare Spares Pavilion. So he'll be at Summer Nats Thursday, January 2nd to Sunday, January 5th. Also, if you walk up to Mark Perch at AU Car Care Co. and you say, Levi told me to come find you and say hello, Mark will give you a 10% off coupon for AU Car Care Co. for your next purchase.
Wow.
So all our friends, Morgan, is there a sign back there that talks about the Summer Nats?
A sign?
Yeah, there should be like a license plate or something in there.
Oh, I think it's that black and white and purple one there.
Black, white, and purple. That's from last year's Summer Nats
Yeah.
There you go.
at the Red Center.
Please show the audience.
So pretty
Wow.
sweet, very nice. So very cool, very exciting.
Wow. And that right there, my friends, is a traditional American muscle car.
No,
Yes,
it's
it
not.
is.
That's an
Okay, you
Australian
can put it
muscle
back.
car.
Okay, Dane. All right.
It looked like a Holden.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to let you all know. I know we've got a lot of folks from down under that listen to us. Hopefully, you guys can attend. K-Child, I hope your ankle's feeling better
Yeah.
so that you can make it down there to the Summer Nats. And then G. Davis, all day Vegemite Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Jeepers, I didn't know he was changing companies. Cool. Yes, he is. He's in Lake Country now.
Yeah.
And he is He's a ambassador for Lake Country. So he doesn't work full time. He's still technically retired. What he does get to do is go do trainings and attend detailing events courtesy of Lake Country.
And drive the bus around.
And still drive the bus around and go to all the places that he's going to be at. So he still gets to kind of best of both worlds. They're basically paying for him to go to all the detailing events. He'll be at Mobile Tech. He'll be at Serum Summit. He'll be at those types of things. But he will be repping for Lake Country because Ivan LaCroix did a lot of work with Lake Country
Yes, sir.
while he was at Optimum. So
Yeah, he did.
very easy transition.
Yeah,
So
Kevin
makes
Rodriguez 0823 says, sorry if this was, oh, sorry, Brian, I missed you. Says, yeah, that's what I was talking about. I never heard how long it lasted. Correct. So Kevin Rodriguez says, sorry if this was asked already, but what was your guys' favorite moment of 2019?
Oh, man. Go around the horn?
I need a second.
Favorite moment for me?
Is this work or out of work related?
I feel like this
let's
is
keep
TRC
it, let's keep it work related.
Related. Favorite moment for me?
Yeah.
Night we were in Scotland at Wowo's,
Okay.
2 a.m, and we're wrapping labels
Bottling,
on bottles,
wrapping labels, yeah.
listening to old school rap,
Yeah.
eating delicious Cadbury chocolates,
Yeah.
and drinking Iron Brew.
Brews. Yeah. We were cracked out on Iron
And
Brew.
it was the 3 of us plus Robbie and Fraser and Jeff.
Yeah. That was a good
And
time.
that was a good night for us to just be
Yeah.
It
working.
was a great night.
And that was probably my highlight of 2019.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you on
Next
the
to SEMA.
Scotland thing. Scotland was awesome. SEMA was so awesome. Getting to have Freddie and his car there, that was really cool. I gotta give the winner of 2019 for moments for me though was riding in that Radical at the Serum Summit. I feel like that was just something that I'm probably not going to set foot in one of those
Your
again after what
intestines
happened.
enjoyed it as well.
So
Yeah.
that's
Inside
going to
your
be my
body.
one, and I got to make it
You
my
got to have
moment
a
of
surgery after
2019.
it.
Guys, if you haven't, please
Well,
go
hopefully it was
watch
worth it.
the Radco went down to Georgia because that's a great travel vlog,
Yeah.
and it has footage from when we went in the Radical on the track,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it yanked your guts around.
Not to be
Pretty
confused with the
insane.
East Coast Adventure that's still not
Oh.
out yet.
Love the East Coast Adventure travel
That
vlog.
was a fun one too.
I
Well, we
enjoy the
never
parts I've
technically
edited.
went on
Spending time with
Yeah.
G. Davis.
Parts that I have edited. From what I have seen, I've personally really enjoyed that. You guys can't see it though.
Luke got to see it while he was here, so
Oh wow.
he did get to
Yeah.
catch up on that. But Morgan, how about you?
See, that's hard. I feel like, honestly, though, I have to say SEMA, just because it was the first time that I've been to SEMA. So, that was memorable.
Well, like what about it? Because you got to go out and actually experience and stuff, walk out on your own. So
Yeah.
You and Jimmy found some stuff that I'm sure we didn't even get a chance to go see.
Yeah, I think there wasn't anything specifically that I was like, oh my God. I think it was just like the setting as a whole, because since it was the first time that I had been, like everything was so like new to me.
Overwhelming.
Yeah. So just
Yeah.
SEMA as a whole.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I like that. Yeah. I would say probably one of my favorite things was probably one of my least favorite things, but I'm glad it all worked out.
Was it at the very beginning of this year?
Very beginning of this year when I did 2 back-to-back details, 6 hours apart at all the way up until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Very fun.
I think that, and then being deathly sick
Yeah.
the entire
So
time
for those
that
who
was the
don't
first time
know-
I also found out that you talked in your sleep because you were delirious.
because of all the NyQuil
Because of
I
all
was
the
drinking.
NyQuil and how sick you were.
Yeah, that was probably was one of those things to where looking back, I am super glad I did it because a lot of the things that happened after that wouldn't have happened probably unless
Yeah.
we would have done that. But I think that at the time, it's kind of like it's like Survivor, right? It's like showing up on an island. You've only have these many tools and this many towels.
Yeah, and it was also your muscle memory just
Yeah.
kicked in.
Yeah,
He
it's like
wasn't even really awake.
it's like
you don't
do
get
what
to choose when you're sick.
yeah, do what you can with all this stuff. and put on a show, make this detail happen, and it actually has to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to go on video.
Because, there's this many people that are going to watch this video.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that's no pressure at all. Okay, let's do it. And it worked out.
With a high-profile client and a potentially large audience for those.
Yeah.
So for those who are wondering, that would be the second Adam LZ video we did, which was just a few hours later after the middle of the night when we finished on Adam LZ's R33 GTR. Went on to the Tavares Bentley that you see that we did.
Life's crazy.
It's fun, but we had limited supplies. Like, you make that stuff
They
work.
only had paper towels.
So
and water.
you find a way to make it happen.
Or Dane knows what we had to resort to use. There was some dark moments.
Anthony and I
details.
have like a camaraderie we have when we go on these Wash Wednesday trips, and it's just
scrappy.
We just kind of have to understand, like, this is going to suck right now, but in the end, it'll be worth it, and you're going to laugh, and you're going to have a good time talking about it once it's gone by.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, you know what? The
All right,
quail
guys.
was super cool.
Yeah, the
too.
quail was cool.
That was freaking
Guys,
awesome.
I'm going to head out.
Okay.
I will see everybody on Monday.
Good
on
luck
our
meeting
podcast.
your cousin.
And for those of you that only listen on the Q&A, I'll see you next year.
Oh,
Ooh.
my
He did
God.
it. He did
He's
it.
out.
No
man.
way.
He's out. Dad just went to go get a box of milk, and he's
Bye-bye.
not ever coming back.
So you know what? I'm going to scoot over one seat, and Morgan can
hop
take
over.
mine.
Oh, sorry. It's got
Wow,
a
just
little
moved
rick-
everything.
I like my seat.
Okay, guys, so the show must go on, and we're going to continue with, let's go ahead and down here, go ahead and down here. G. Davis says, is there any discount if you say hello to Dane while he's at Office Depot or Spin Class? Absolutely. You're most likely going to find him in Office Depot, though.
Office Depot or Home Depot?
No, it's Office Depot.
It
Dane,
is?
just out of curiosity, you got that gym membership. How many times have you gone since you got it?
4 times.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's pretty great.
It's more than people might expect.
It's more than one. Here we go. So we got Kevin Rodriguez says, what about goals for 2020? Could be work-related or not.
Oh. Goals. Well, you want to take that
Let's see.
one?
Goals for 2020. So I think work-related, I think that we have a lot of things that we're wanting to continue to improve on media-wise. I want to go, I think we're kind of all in agreement that we're going to go back to a lot of our roots in terms of our detailing content and videos and kind of bring some of these videos back that show people what they want to see. And me and Dane were actually going to talk about this the other day, is that a lot of our content on our YouTube channel is good. A lot of people like it, but it's that up close shot. It's the action of seeing something applied. It's the action of seeing something removed. There's a lot that kind of goes into these detailing videos that we haven't really been providing in the recent months or really within the last year. And it would kind of like to go back to something like that.
I'm going to say it's not even intentional. It's just a case of we've been pressed for time on a lot of
Correct.
different things.
Oh.
And sometimes that can result in, mistakes being made or things like that. And basically, we really want to just take it back to, okay, let's make some simple instructional videos. Like, it's fun to do the personality stuff, and we would rather be some people who are personable. We would rather not be robots who simply show you how to do a thing and then move on. Like, even as reps for a company, I just never wanted to be that way. And that's been my mission since I was the only one making videos in the beginning, doing the stuff with Levi. And Levi didn't work here. He was just a detailer that we happened to connect up with.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where, don't forget your roots, but at the same time, just kind of find a way to evolve, but still keep giving people what they want while giving them something maybe they don't expect, but they don't know to ask for it. You just end up giving them something quality anyway.
Well, and that's where I'm thinking, like, there's certain shots and things like that I want to kind of focus on getting with these upcoming videos and kind of bringing it back to something a little bit simpler. I know that we have, like I said, we have a ton of fun with all the other different types of videos that we do and the production and stuff. But, one thing that people don't realize is that, at the Rag Company, we've grown a lot in the last few years in terms of employees and everything like that.
There's no room to shoot our videos.
And
that's why you've seen a downturn in the number of them coming out.
We've made the jokes that there's no room to shoot our videos, but that really couldn't be more true. And we're not really trying to make excuses. Dane actually posted an outtake the other day where we were trying to shoot a video just last year with Morgan. And you'll find that we're outside in front of this hood. I'm telling Dane, I'm like, just start the video. Let's get going.
You guys
were
decontaminating a panel from a junkyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, right when he says, okay, ready, set, go, you hear a truck start up. You hear a ding from the doorbell of somebody walking out the door. And you hear all this crap. And then we sit there and we look at each other like, this really just happened.
Yep.
And that's kind of what it's like filming.
Well, she
all
was
the
there. That
time
was one
around
of her
here.
first like videos we were doing, and yeah, I mean, you saw that and you're like, oh, I understand like what you guys have to go through now when you make a video. It's not perfect every time by any means.
No. And that's where when we've filmed stuff in the past, we've had maybe like one open area or two open areas, and now that one open area got taken, and then this other open area got taken for storage or extra space. And now we're like, okay, well, what do we even do? And so that's where, once we get into this new area, we're going to have a lot more room.
And we'll touch more on that
go.
after we answer a few more of these questions. But I think, yeah, we can definitely fill the rest of our time talking about like future plans and stuff. No shortage of that going on. But so let's hit these up
We
first.
got G. Davis says, okay, so here we're going down. Sorry. Brian C. says, another question. Woos sounds great. What can I use from Woos to clay? Would I have to use 64:1 O&R, then crystal sealant, or what would be the most efficient? So the most efficient, if you already have O&R, would be to use O&R.
Yeah.
O&R is
a clay lube dilution.
Yeah. O&R is a clay lube. Is still probably one of the best clay lubes out there, if not one of my favorite clay lubes out there. Now, in the Woos line specifically, there was never a clay lube created from my knowledge, at least from what I know from Scotland and what they had over there.
Thing, if people want a specific product, kind of like how there's a glass cleaner. I think that's a fair thing for a future evolution of the line.
Because like the quick detailer, is so advanced that like I would never use that as a clay lube. I'm sure it could probably do the job, but I would never do that as a clay lube. I would also never use waterless wash. So if it was me personally and I was going to be re-washing the car anyways, I'd probably just use detailer shampoo since it's pH balanced and really slick. But again, if you have O&R, just use O&R. You already have it. Just go with that, and it makes it simple. And then, yes, I would recommend crystal sealant afterwards. But if you could do an O&R clay, do an IPA wipe down to prep that panel and remove any of the residual polymer from the surface from the O&R, and then go back with crystal sealant, you're going to be in a good spot. And see how you like that. So we got Frost Inc. says Adam LZ was just on Obsessed Garage with Matt detailing his car.
Yeah.
Saw that. It's amazing.
New R34 GTR.
It's funny because, like, there was a scene in there where he was learning how to polish, and, Matt's teaching Adam, hey, okay, grab the machine. You're going to turn it on, do that. What's funny is that I've actually handed Adam a polisher before, and he's actually held it and done a panel on one of his cars before. So watching that, I'm like, you must have forgotten how to use the dang thing, and so it was just kind of funny. But here we go.
We were there. He was like sanding trim for his windows.
Adam's he's really capable. He's really
he's a handy dude.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that stuff. We got Tom's Kirby says G. Davis. Dane really had a spin class? ?
Oh man.
Here we go. And so we got Delphine Bez says, "Happy holidays, guys. I sprained my wrist and made it much worse because I still wanted to wash my car." Yeah.
Oh.
Detailing can really take a toll on your joints. Now I just do nothing. It sucks. Dang, that does suck.
I think Levi could relate to that with his knuckles, his fingers from years
I
of wear.
literally almost cut off my finger.
And you did do that. As a matter of fact, we're not going to have to show the audience that, but it's mostly back now.
It's attached to itself now, which is good.
To looking like a normal finger. So you take your wins and losses as you
I'm so I know that sounds stupid, but like I have had to keep my hands out of chemicals, right? So I couldn't put my hand in O&R. I couldn't put my hand in car soaps. And of course, when you're always detailing, you're always going to get your hands wet or whatever. So I've been diligently trying to watch that. And I think I'll be good to go here in another couple weeks once it really heals. Yeah. We got G. Davis says, Tom Kirby, yes, and Tybo. So I've heard. Dane, you're doing Tybo too?
I'm just now finding this out. Apparently, I'm into Tybo.
I could see you doing Tybo, and I could see you doing that, what's that called? It's a very slow movement pace.
Oh, Tai Chi?
Tai Chi.
You're just looking for more things with Tai in the name.
Well, Jack Talk Tai. Oh, we can't say that.
I prefer my ties. Okay, so moving along. Tom Kirby and drives a Jag. Just an amazing transformation. Oh, okay, thanks. When will the gray knit microfiber lens cloth be back in stock? That's a good question. That is a very specific product that off the top of my head, I'm like, I haven't heard too many people ask for those.
Yeah.
We usually get them in orders of many, 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 many thousands at a time from the factory, so it's usually a bulk thing. If we're low, that means that there's more usually on the way. But that's something we'll have to check on.
Says G. Davis, only if you have a picture when Dane is holding hands with the IROC Z lady.
Oh, God. Okay, that's enough of that. You know what? The other thing I heard from the survey was that people really like when we focus on the detailing, and there's a real split in our audience, I found. Like, there's the people who love the personal stories and love, like, the goofing off and the fun. Mm-hmm. And then there's another subset of people who are just like, give me the detailing and I'm getting out. Like, there's definitely a split. Now, I'm not saying most of those detailing people are fans of Levi, but it sure looks that way. So
it sure
Levi
does.
has, like, the hardcore detailing knowledge from years of having done it. Makes perfect sense. No question about it. Now, he's a car enthusiast like the rest of us, but I think as far as the rest of us go, we do come at it from more of an enthusiast perspective. We haven't, spent, well over 2 decades working in a detailing shop the way he had.
It's true.
So it's a little different experience, but I know that there's definitely people who are fans of that. But also I think there's something valid about being an enthusiast and taking it from that angle, which Anthony is the perfect example of, and Morgan's an up-and-comer in the same way.
Yeah. So, Morgan, what are your thoughts on that? Can you give me that paint prep over there?
Yeah, sure.
On what?
In that towel?
Specific question.
So just being a detail enthusiast versus being like a professional who's worked in a shop for, several years, as far as the validity of being that kind of person, I would say it's just as valid that you're an enthusiast and you want to learn more about products, you want to have that kind of stuff. Sorry, Anthony has me handing him things.
Yeah, he can't really focus that well.
No.
It's okay.
So I was just looking for, in terms of perspective, our audience, part of it likes the enthusiasm side of it and likes the car stuff and the kind of the goofing up, but the other half is like, just give me straight detail information and that's it. And the hard part is, if we're being honest, and Levi had a very valid concern, if it was just asking for shop knowledge all the time, he thought he would get kind of bored of it because it would just be him answering stuff most of the time. And I don't think that really gives a full, clear picture as far as like where we fit into the industry. We try and cover a lot of bases in that we do want to encourage people who are starting out and people who are enthusiasts, and the obvious professionals and stuff will find that the products are good and they'll hold them up to whatever they use currently. But I don't think it has to be just a very dry, hardcore instructional kind of thing to be worthwhile. I think there's a lot to be said about the way we do it being valid in its own way. So we're going to kind of work a little push, a little pull, figure out what the right fit is. But I do want to make sure we keep it personality driven, because that's there's a lot of detailing content out there, guys. I mean, there's podcasts, there's Business of Detailing podcasts. I know Jason Autonis runs that, and that's a great one if you're looking for like the business of detailing, as the name implies. There's the Pints and Polishers podcast. You have Optimum Synergy podcast. You have, obviously the Auto Detailing podcast with Jimbo is great. Yeah. So if you're looking for like detailing content, absolutely get those. That's where you're going to get like the tips and tricks. And Jimbo's very focused on that, but he'll have interviews with guests too, and we'll do that as well. But I think we kind of want to have the detailing side of things, but maybe stretch more into the automotive realm like we did with Scott with the wheels at Koenig and stuff. That was a really interesting conversation we had when we were at SEMA.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I don't mean to dominate the conversation here, but just kind of thinking out loud, and I'd like these guys to kind of contribute, maybe offer up what they think they'd like to see. But I want to push more into cars, and I know Morgan has a lot to say about cars. Yeah. So it could be fun.
What do you have to say about cars, Morgan?
What do I have to say about cars?
Well, it's mostly BMW stuff, but hey.
Yeah.
Let's answer some of these questions we got.
Okay. So here we go. We got Future Prison says, dropping in quickly to say hi. What is going on, man? We got G. Davis says, it was my survey that mentioned more enthusiasm and more bad jokes.
I mean,
sorry.
Welcome that.
More good jokes. Actually, I didn't even say good. They just say jokes.
I say they're bad jokes.
Okay.
Oh, man.
But at the same time, I like bad jokes.
Yeah.
So. You do?
I know.
Yeah.
You make a lot of them.
But just because we think it's funny doesn't mean that everybody else thinks it's funny.
Right.
So we got Tom Kirby says, okay, back to towels. Will washing those special Christmas green and red towels with normal clothes ruin them? Gave them as gifts without washing instructions. So it's not going to ruin the towels. The towels will be fine for the most part unless you're washing them with steel wool, but we don't ever recommend washing them with normal clothes. We don't recommend washing with other towels. That's how you get linting issues, and that's how you get linting that lints onto the microfiber. So I think the everyday person will be fine in terms of the towels will still work as needed. They probably won't look as nice. They're probably going to dry them with high heat, so they're going to get a little blown out looking. But they will still be fine to a normal person. Now, if you were giving them to a detailer or somebody that's very, very picky, then you might want to give them some instructions or give them a heads up.
As a matter of fact, while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, I think we can talk about how to wash microfiber towels. That's an evergreen topic. Everybody always asks.
Yep.
Let's lay it out for people who are wondering the same thing right now. How do I wash my microfiber towels?
What we should do is every time that there's a lull in the question, we should just go to this topic.
I think that's a safe bet.
Just every single time, like, oh, it's quiet. Today we're going to be talking about how to wash microfiber towels.
Yeah.
People will probably hate it, but it's detailing related, and I think that you'll learn something.
And today is not the day we drop this Q&A down to an hour, but in the future, there's a good chance we'll be doing that. But not today. We'll go the full 2 hours today.
True. Okay, so how to wash microfiber towels. So it's kind of common sense when it comes to just washing anything in general, right? So you want to separate your colors. You want to do your darks with your darks. You want to do your lights with your lights because you don't want to have the bleeding issues. So what we recommend doing is on just a basic run of microfiber towels, get your like towels with your like towels and try to wash things that have the same job or duty. So if you have a bunch of wheel towels, wash your wheel towels with your wheel towels. If you're doing interior towels, only wash your interior towels with your interior towels. And then you can have another separate system where maybe you wash your compound towels with your polished towels with your wax towels, and then maybe one set for your wash mitt and your drying towels. Does that make sense? So you're not getting too much chemical mix up there. So like my glass towels would probably fall into my interior range of towels, whereas maybe my exterior compound polish and stuff would fall into my waxes and so on and so forth. But my dirty job towels, like my door jamb towels and maybe even my wheel towels would be separate. If your door jambs are spotless and you're worried about those can maybe be washed with your interior towels. You can get as crazy as this what you want.
Yeah.
Once you have your separation, that's when you're gonna throw them in. You're gonna set it to a cool or warm setting. So in most cases, warm is fine. We recommend washing on cold just because that's a bulletproof system. But if you need to go up to warm, you can. And then in terms of your actual detergent, we recommend using a microfiber dedicated detergent or a free and clear detergent that is liquid. So liquid meaning no fabric softeners, no scents, no dyes, no colors, anything like that. It is just a clear liquid detergent. And you're going to go ahead and put that into the wash port. And then for any extra cleaning power, like let's just say you're doing some extra compounds and polishes and something where you have some really heavily built up towels, that's when you're going to put a little bit of distilled vinegar into either the fabric softener port or the bleach port, whatever releases in the rinse cycle on your particular washer. So I do the fabric softener port is what I do. And I put about a third cup to a half a cup of distilled white vinegar in there. Close that bad boy up, set it, forget it, walk away. And what you'll see from that, or what to expect from that first wash, right, is in that first wash, you're going to see a lot of the color kind of return back to the towels. You're going to see a lot of that gunk being released or gone. But one important thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to detergents is some detergents, depending on the concentration of that detergent, take longer to wash out than other detergents, right? If you're doing with a really thin detergent, that detergent may wash out of that towel relatively fast. If you're doing something thicker that really builds up or it's really concentrated, some of that detergent may get locked up within that towel even after the rinse cycle, right? So to that point, if you ever get to a point where you're like, oh man, like, these towels don't feel right or they don't feel as soft, one thing I would recommend doing is taking that same batch of towels, leaving them in there, and doing another run of the wash with no detergent added. So it would just be doing a wash with pure water at that point. And what this would do is if there was any residual detergent in that wash, it would rinse that out one more time, giving it an extra rinse. And some washers have the extra rinse setting to where you can do that.
Mine does. Yeah.
But not all of them have it. So just something to keep in mind. Now from there, When it comes to drying, you have a couple different options. You can pull them out and hang dry them. I find that if you hang dry a microfiber towel, it doesn't quite fluff up or it doesn't quite feel as soft.
They come out kind of flat, but you can shake them up.
Well, and the reason being is that I think depending on your water hardness, or I think just depending on the angle or what kind of air hits it or how it's dried, it's not. It's kind of like when you air dry a pair of jeans, right?
Yeah.
They kind of feel stiff.
Crunchy.
They feel crunchy.
Nobody wants crunchy.
Right?
Crunchy
It's not the
jeans.
same thing. So
Cheese for peanut butter.
I would recommend throwing them into the dryer.
Right. Crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah.
And you can put it on a low setting to where you're putting very low heat or no heat, and you're just going to air tumble dry. Now, if your dryer is sketchy like mine is, and I don't trust the heat setting on there, I typically kind of watch it. So if I'm going to be drying my towels, I'll be around the house doing something already. Set it to 30 minutes. At about 15 minutes in, I'll go and check on my towels. If they are way too hot, because sometimes my dryer just does this, then I will turn it to an air dry and then air dry the rest of it. But I monitor that because the way you got to look at it, if I'm drying, let's just say I've built up a bunch of exterior towels that I need to wash, my drying towels, right? Yeah. If I have 3 drying towels in there, maybe 2 wash mitts, I have $24 in wash mitts, and I have close to $50 in drying towels, right? That's $70 inside my dryer.
Yeah,
and it's an investment. I got to make sure that this doesn't I don't just
it's
toss
in your best
these
interest not to screw
because
it up.
some people will set it to a very high heat setting, and they'll I don't want to say ruin their microfiber towels, but they'll definitely cut the life of those things in half once they've seen too high of heat.
Yeah.
So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. And
we can touch up a little bit more on this in a sec, but I do see there's some new questions.
Oh, we do
can
have
kinda
some
dip into that.
questions.
As a matter of fact, Morgan, why don't you read them?
Yeah, here we
Where
go.
did
So
we
I
leave
think
off
I
last
think
We're
we're
at G. Davis right here.
I think we're
There's
at
like 5 G Davis.
Well, the 1/3 from the bottom.
yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So G. Davis says, it looks like maybe something nice, maybe something genuine here from
Ooh.
our friend.
Ooh.
He said, in all seriousness, if people want straight hardcore detailing talk, there are other Q&As out there. You guys do
It's
something
true.
different and unique, and your loyal audience is a testament to that.
Thank you, G.
Thank
And,
you.
You know,
That is
that's
the
one of the
nicest
hardest
thing.
things about this is, like I said, it's like we have 2 audiences because there's one side of it who, for lack of a better term, they seem actually bothered and irritated by the fun, like, goofy anecdotes and stuff.
Yeah.
But we like doing that because that's us just being real with each other. And I think a lot of people enjoy the real. And the way I look at it is I always wanted us to do that because that's authenticity. That's us being
Yeah.
genuine
Vibe
with
check.
the audience. We're actually, like, when we're talking to each other, it's not a manufactured reading from a script. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
supposed to say this now? Oh, okay. Or, like, taking things and reading like a robot. We address stuff in a more natural way. And to some people, when people hear Anthony talk, if you go back to many of his videos, there are people who swear Anthony has a script. Anthony doesn't have a script. It's in his head when he does, like, these videos. All right, guys, welcome, and we're going to do this thing. And he'll do the whole spiel, but it's because of his own experience. And he
Thank you,
just
Dane.
knows how to filter that into something that is super direct and super functional from a direction
I
standpoint.
get experience like sometimes off camera.
Well,
that
you
I
did
don't know.
theater
Do
in
you
high
have like an
school,
out-of-body
right?
experience when you do those videos? Like you just leave your body and you're like, well, I guess he's doing that now.
Well,
See you
yeah,
when
it's
you're
like
done.
it's like sometimes I don't know what's going on, and next thing you know, I'm like, why am I standing in front of my Civic with a camera? Like, what's going on here? And then I just forget. I don't know what happens. So that thing seems to happen.
Weird.
But
Do we want to go to the next one, or
right.
are we still going on?
yeah, so we're gonna go to Philip Van Van
Yes.
Boeven says, Dane, should I sell my '97 E36 M3 or keep it as a classic? Fairly stock, 163,000 miles, no rust, in good condition. The value seems to show as appreciated in value. Currently, daily drive it.
Now,
So
I want Morgan to have
so
a
I'm
vote on
already
this.
feeling upset by this question. Don't sell it, because you will regret it.
Morgan wants to buy it.
Everyone always regrets selling it. I also want to know, is it a sedan? Is it a coupe? What
Yeah.
color is it?
E36 is cool because you could actually get it as a sedan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and that's what my dad had, and he sold it. And I will tell you, since he sold it in 2002 or 3,
He sold it once Morgan was actually born. They had to figure out a way.
it was when, no, it was later than that. No, because it was when we sold it here.
Okay.
And my dad very much regrets it, and he tried to buy it back. The guy lives in Sun Valley now.
Okay.
With a couple other cars, such as Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And let's just say when I was buying my E46, my dad still had the contact number for who he sold the E36 to.
Just in case.
And we thought, it would be kind of cool for me to buy that car back, right? Because that was my dad's car. That was like the first my experience with cars, my introduction to them. So that would be a very cool car for me to have. And the guy said, sorry, this car is the favorite car that I own. Out of the, it's his favorite one. So
it's probably because he doesn't feel like he has to worry about it when he drives it. He can just enjoy it for what it is.
It's such a fun car. So without me starting to cry right now, talking about that, it's a sedan and silver. So see, the sedans are pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly. So I'm biased.
A silver sedan,
I would keep
Morgan.
it. But if you do sell it
to Morgan.
She's listening. Just based on you asking that, I'm with her. I say keep it. And the reason is, oftentimes when you get a car like that, you do regret selling it later. Don't sell it unless you have to sell it.
Because you probably won't be able to find a clean one like that with, that low of miles that's been in good condition, no rust, like all of that.
But to an even greater point, one thing I want to point out there is he said 163,000 miles. The kind of people who are looking for classics and collector versions of cars, for right or for wrong, I'm not scared of high-mile cars. I like high-mile cars because people tend to look over them. They just ignore them. But in that case, that's not going to be sold on a collector market. The kind of people who are collecting are like, I want sub 100K miles. And even though it's an arbitrary number these days, it doesn't really mean anything in the grander scheme of things. Every car is a little bit different. I just feel like the kind of people you'd think you'd be selling to for a collector status of those, they're gonna look past it and go to something that has lower miles. Even if it's in worse condition, they're gonna be like, I don't care that it has a little rust spot. It has 20,000 miles. I'm buying this one. And as we all know, the U.S. got kind of screwed on the E36s in terms of the power department. But the car itself is really good.
So.
Oh my God.
In conclusion,
we're gonna have to scroll up here. Are we here?
We need to scroll. Okay, there we go. Whoa! What just happened?
Okay, so
we're at Phil and Van.
Okay, so we got Hans goes and says it's all fun and games and something you can pick up a few things during Q&A. No. Keep it at 2 hours.
Hans, I feel you, man. I originally developed the 2 hours to be kind of a hangout session, but as it's gone on, I never want to feel like I'm boring people. Like, I want it to be fun and conversational, but there are some lulls. That's reality. That's what happens in a live sometimes. And there's some bigger channels that obviously have no problem bringing people in. But for us as medium-sized channel and this stuff, you still got to work to get the people to come in and listen. Best thing I can say is go out and find more people, tell them about this, and have them come in and ask us questions. That keeps it lively. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, Luke Berge says, sorry I couldn't tune in today, but I figured I'd say hi and just say how amazing Crystal Sealant was today. I used Eagle Applicator, and it was awesome, the gloss and slickness I got. Luke, that's really complimentary. But now that you have now that you have been here, right, I feel like you're shilling right now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think you're saying...
he was most excited about Crystal Sealant when he came here.
I thought he was most excited to hang out with me.
No, Crystal Sealant seemed to be the thing he wanted to try the most. You're not a product. Crystal Sealant is. So he wanted to, experience Crystal Sealant.
And he did. It's always been, Dane. Delphine Bez says...
I'm not even going to ask.
How much does solution finish accept a little rain once after it's applied on trim? I want to do some plastic honeycomb grills, and it's going to take a long time on my Range Rover Evoque. Ooh. Okay, so Delphine, how do I say this? So solution finish, regardless of weather condition, actually is quite durable, way more durable than a typical dressing's ever going to be. Now, doing your grill, I don't know if you're doing the when I've done a grill before, I used the Q-tip method, and I just stuck a Q-tip in, and I went one by one and knocked out every single one of them, and then knocked it down with a towel after I was done. But I would say another option is to maybe hit it with some solution finish, and then some people will apply a coating via a little paint sprayer, and they'll do that if you want to do that. You can also, after you're done with your trim or your honeycomb, put some coating on an applicator and then just rub it across the front. And I mean, that should be good. I mean, you'd be surprised on what that would be able to do in terms of keeping that color locked in. Brian G says, another detailing question. If you detail a car for money, do you have a final wipe down with a quick detailer before you send it out the door, even if you wax it and seal it? I noticed Levi said that.
With this quick detailer, it's a nice touch.
Yeah, I would say that with this Wowa's quick detailer, it's a nice touch. I know that in his SOP, he used to do that at his old shop as well. I think it really depends. I mean, if you feel like you've pulled a ton of gloss out of that paint and you've done a really good job and you don't think it needs anything else, then call it good. If you maybe didn't polish it or you just clayed it and you're like, yeah, it looks good, but it needs some extra pop, I think it's a total situational thing where it's car by car. There's some cars that I've finished where I said, nope, I'm not going to touch it. I'm not putting anything else on it. It looks absolutely perfect as is.
Not chancing it.
And or the paint's so soft that I don't want to keep wiping things, right? You know, I'll get to a point where I say I've already perfected it, corrected it. It's not worth it for me to take the risk of wiping something else on as it currently sits right now. I'm just going to leave it. So,
well, Morgan, on your details, how did you finish out with it? Did you do something like that as like a final step, or did you just go, no, this is good the way it is?
I would normally just, I mean, this was back in the time when I would just finish with like Beatmaker.
Yeah. No,
Nice.
It makes perfect sense.
Here we go. So we already know it's a silver sedan. Brian G says, yep, he did that on his website.
Yeah, he's got his SOP on there.
Arcadia Wash Shop says, you guys are great with detailing knowledge, but the entertainment value of what you guys do is second to none. 1 hour, 2 hours, whichever you choose is fine. Just keep being yourselves.
And in my gut, I always felt that we needed to offer more of the detailing stuff to help pacify some of those who are just kind of grumpy and that's all they want and they don't want any of the hijinks. But I do feel like as far as the personality injection into this whole thing goes, the fun of it, that is something we offer that's different than what's out there. I think it's fair to say that our interactions and stuff are different than what's out there. Sure, it's a little goofy, but I feel it's what makes us authentic. Once again, and we're truly who we are on this show.
What's hard about the whole thing in terms of trying to be as authentic as possible
you can't please everybody.
You can't please everybody, but like I can't. It's also, I know this might not make any sense. It's also hard to censor the authenticity because I can't be authentic but think, oh, I can't say that, or I have to kind of back away from this because then
somebody might get mad.
Or somebody might get mad because then I'm like, well, then I'm not really even being authentic, and now I'm thinking more about what I'm saying than I've ever said before. Whereas I think if you like if you like our jokes and you like the things that we say, it's off the cuff stuff. It's stuff that we say that comes naturally to us.
We don't plan any of that stuff. That just happens.
It's just natural things. Now, if you don't like that, right, then that's where it's hard because when we sit there and we say, well, half the people don't like it, half the people do like it, we can't really censor it to try to meet people in the middle. We can try,
and nobody's happy.
But you know, we already do our best because we don't cuss, we don't say any strong curse words.
We say hell and damn. That's the worst it gets. Like really, we're conscious of that, but we always try and keep it PG-13. I think that's fair to say.
And that's
how we talk off screen is a whole other
matter, that's different. But you know.
We don't listen to a mom. I've never said a bad word.
She is an angel. Don't. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. So it is difficult, and I think that this survey, like Dane says, if it wasn't so split in the middle, maybe it wouldn't be that difficult.
That is the hard part because it's not
right in the middle.
An obvious winner in terms of the type of audience. It's literally the people who like the stuff love it, and the people who don't like it really don't like it. So we're stuck right in the middle on that. To be honest with you guys, that's frankly where we're at.
And one thing to kind of help people out listening right now, there is a whole slew of people that are new to detailing within the last year or two, right, who have kind of fallen down the rabbit hole with everybody else, right? So, of course, the first thing that they expect content-wise is if they get referred to a detailing podcast, right, they think that this is going to be full-on detailing.
Just straight facts, just a robot reading, here's how you do this thing. Okay, next, here's how you do this thing. Okay, next. And that doesn't appeal to me.
And we've been doing this for so many years now to where we've kind of tried to transform where we started and the roots of the people that started with us, right, into the knowledge that we've kind of given and the transformation of our media, I guess, adventures and the things like that to kind of where we are now, to where we still want to help the new people. We still want to do that. But I think the new people are expecting something different than what this is transformed into and what this has become being. Now, if you want to, what I wish I could say is, hey, you're new to the podcast, go back and begin with episode 1.
And nobody likes to be told that because like, I just want it now. I just want it now.
Just do the damn thing and just film what I want you to film because you're my monkey.
And I'm not trying to make fun of people who say those things. We asked for a response and we got it.
Yeah.
But there is a very clear delineation between what people want, and it's so funny because they are two very different camps.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's keep going.
Answering them.
So let's scroll up, please, Tim. We were up. I can't remember who we were just past. We were just past Arcadia.
This.
So we're gonna scroll up. Keep going.
Yep.
Which one are we on?
Keep going a little bit more.
There we go.
Keep going. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
so you're
perfect.
at Delphine Bez.
Yep.
Okay, so he wants to know, what detergent do you currently wash your towels with? He decided to go the cheapest way with 3D Clean.
3D Clean's fine. You can, but you can use all. You can also use an all free and clear detergent. You can use the cheapest free and clear detergent you can get. Just make sure it's liquid.
There are differences between refreshers and actual like detergents.
Yes.
Sometimes the cheaper ones are just refreshers. They don't actually clean it the way a detergent
True.
does.
So like my bottle of all free and clear detergent, I think it's like half a gallon.
Yeah.
For $4.
No,
Yeah.
No,
So,
if you're looking for like a general detergent, that's where people kind of get lost. If you're looking for like general clothing detergents, free and clear, sensitive skin type ones, Tide, free and gentle, I think it's called. Any of those sorts of ones are okay because they don't have all the additives in them. But if you're looking at microfiber specific detergents, look closely at the labels, pay close attention to the prices because some are just refreshers and some are detergents. There's a difference. So pay close attention.
Dane, can you read this next one from G. Davis?
And secondly, G. Davis says, I can't do what I do on Obsessed Garage, or any other channel for that matter. Deleting the second hour is an additional hour I do not want to spend with my family. Thank you in advance. G. Davis, I love you. I appreciate you.
He's a legend.
He's a legend in his own mind, and he is really a special part of what we do here. And I realize, like, that hanging out with the buddies and the in-jokes and stuff, I don't want anybody to ever feel left out. So I want this to be a collaborative thing, an inclusive thing, not an exclusive thing. So as new people join in, I never want it to feel like, oh, I just walked in on like some like neighborhood bar and everybody looks at me weird because I'm the new guy. You know, I don't want anybody to ever feel like that. But in this context, I don't want to feel left out. I've walked into some bars where I kind of went, yeah, I'm leaving. But, you know, there's some of that.
Guy?
But at any rate, I figured that's kind of the impression. We want to be some place that people want to go. And you want to have those interactions even if you're new. I want you to feel like you can talk to us like a friend. We want to...
Speaking of G. Davis, I think that on Monday, I would like you to wear the shirt.
Ooh. I'll wear the shirt.
I think it's time.
All right.
I think it's time to bring that back.
Okay.
We got Frostink says, I regret selling my 93 Cadillac Fleetwood within 30K miles.
Fleetwood, those are dope, man. Those are really cool cars. And I know some people are like, oh, GM from the early 90s. No, there's something about riding around in an early 90s Cadillac. It's cool. It's a sofa, man.
They just hit different,
it's
right?
It's a sofa on wheels.
So Delphine Bez says, why not a 90-minute Q&A? That's also possible.
That's a fair compromise. That gives us like half an hour afterwards to still have the rest of our day to like fix things up, rather than being like closing time, everybody's already gone when we leave down here. Yeah.
Any tips for applying optimum gloss coat? I
would say we actually have several videos about it.
There's several videos on it, but I guess a tip would be to make sure the panel's prepped, make sure the panel's clean, and don't stress. I guess that would be my biggest tip. Do not stress about applying gloss coat. It is the easiest thing in the world. Yeah. You can't screw it up.
Morgan's first experience with us was applying Optimum gloss coat.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a stressful thing. Do not make it a stressful thing. It's if anything, have fun with it.
Yeah.
G. Davis says, if you could have any guest you wanted on the show, who would it be?
Ooh.
Oh, I'd want G. Davis,
Cardi
obviously.
B.
I love
Cardi
G.
B?
Davis.
Morgan. Okay.
Maybe she'd be into the car stuff. Who knows?
I would be interested to know.
She can't drive.
From
oh, that's right.
She can't drive.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Yeah. Whoops.
Well.
Yeah, she bought a Lamborghini, but she can't drive, so everyone made fun of her. But it's very funny.
Oh.
Well, she has more Lamborghini than I have.
Yeah,
so
you have a license.
let's see. So G. Davis says
wins?
Arcadia Wash Shop, spot on. Kickoff says, as spray sealants, a good alternative to the traditional paste wax and paste sealant and wax. Oh, our spray sealants. Yeah, absolutely. They're great. I mean, but the thing is wax isn't dead. I mean, wax is alive and well, and that's where we say, like Wowo's Contact 121 has an old school look, but it's got all new school technology in there with the polymer resins and things like that. So it really depends. If you're looking for the therapeutic aspect of detailing, we still love paste waxes. If you're looking for the ease of use and kind of something that's, I guess, really just as durable, and you're just looking for something easy and get it done, spray sealants are great as well.
Optimum spray wax is good, too, if you still want to wax.
Yeah, and that's right in the middle there. So Hans Closen says, G. Davis, let me thank you, LOL. Venom96600 says, I am back and very late. What up, Dane, Anthony, and Morgan? G. Davis says, you're funny, Hans, only if you join me.
Aww.
I would love to have both of you guys here.
That'd be cool.
Brian G. says, we're going to have to blow through this, guys. We have quite a few. Says, great, thanks. Is Beadmaker a great wipe down? It's pretty cheap if I get it by the gallon. As well as Gloss Enhancer, whatever it's called, about the same price-wise. So while Showstopper and Beadmaker in the pint size are priced around the same thing, Beadmaker might be cheaper, yes, by the gallon for what you were wanting to do. So go with Beadmaker. Frosting says, whatever happened to the junk man? He's the one that put me onto y'all years ago.
So far as I know, he's still alive and well.
He's still alive. He's married now.
Hasn't done as much detailing stuff online. He's been busy with a number of things, but reminder, that's not his day job. Detailing is not his day job. He does do it for money, but it's not his day job.
Yeah.
But yeah, we keep in touch with him. We talk to him a couple times a year, I think. Reach out and see how things are going. But yeah.
So Kickoff says, had rodents in the car, how to disinfect the AC vents. So to disinfect the AC vents, you can use steam. You can do, really steam might be one of the best ways to do that with maybe like an O&R. You can actually probably put maybe like some type of APC into a steamer and steam out the vents that way as well. It's just, yes, you can spray a disinfectant into the vents. You can do that, but I'm trying to think of the best way to where it's actually going to circulate, and that's where a forced air steamer would have the best circulation in terms of being able to go through the entire system. They also have, what are those AC things that you can, not purge an AC thing, but you can do something...
Like a can of compressed
air. It's like a can of something that...
It's like an aerosol style.
Correct. Yeah. And I've seen them before.
I know what you're thinking of. I don't know the name of them.
I don't know the name of them either. Sorry.
That's a case where Levi would know.
Venom96600 says, quick question. I have a customer that has dried compound on the paint and on rubber and plastic trim. How would I remove this? I was thinking about cleaning the plastic and rubber, then solution finish. Exactly that. Do just that. So you can try to do a deep clean. I've had great luck removing old compound and things like that, like with you can, for the most part, a water-based dressing, like McGuire's number 40, which is a vinyl and rubber cleaner and conditioner that works great at removing old compound. But solution finish would be kind of the end goal with that to keep it black again. Yeah. What did you say, Morgan?
He has a second part of that question.
Oh, where was that? Oh, right there. It says, in the paint, just go over with a machine polisher and compound the old hardened residue off the paint. Yes, so exactly that with removing old compound. You can do that with a machine as well. I've compounded compound off before, so you can kind of do the same thing. Another way to remove the compound residue on the trim, hyper polish actually. Hyper polish, it does not stain trim and can remove compound on old trim. So, Philip Van Buren says, any chance TRC will carry Rupes white rotary foam polishing pad? There is a chance that we can carry more Rupes pads in the future. We have no intention of carrying any machines, but pads are something that we do like to carry. Philip Van Boeven says, going back to the roots and replaced my Makita with a Rupes rotary and would like to finish with a white Rupes pad. I don't blame you, man. The white pads are great by Rupes. Dude Man Bro Saw says, McGuire's number 40 is a... Yeah, I didn't even see that. That's funny. Yeah. Is a miracle for pretty much anything stuck to plastics, vinyl, or rubber trim. It will change your life. I love 40, man. Yep. I've been using 40 for years, and it's probably one of my favorite products that we don't sell. Delphine Bez says, by the way, choosing your own preferred host on the podcast was really a hard one.
In fairness, I got to say, I feel like Levi pushed that one because he knew what the answer would be.
But
that was one of those ones where I did want it to be fun. And once again, like for those of you who haven't filled out the survey, it's all anonymous. The closest we get is it just shows us what an individual filled out across the whole thing, but we don't get any like information on you other than your answers.
We will tell you that it was pretty much a blowout on Levi's.
Levi blew the rest of us out seriously.
Yeah, I'm like, I've never felt so hated in my life.
You know what? Hey, you know what? You were second, so you had that going for you.
It wasn't like a close second.
He had 5 times as many votes as you did, and you were second.
I'm like, crap, man.
Morgan and I are bringing up the rear of the main host here, but that's okay. I mean,
we asked. It's fine.
I talk a lot, and I understand it, but
haunt my dreams.
No, and it's fine. But at the same time, I did put it out there as an other category because I did force people to pick one, and it's not like you don't like the others because you like one. It was just a for fun thing. But I did put an other where you could fill in your own. Ivan was very popular.
He was
People
very
liked
popular.
Ivan. Yeah.
Here we go. So we got Venom96600 says, what is the durability of Woe's Contact 121 kept outside 24/7? Depending on your conditions, I would say probably 24/7, around the 6 months. I mean, we're setting. I'm setting people. I don't want to say setting people up for failure. I'm giving people a realistic expectation with Contact 121 on outdoor use, saying that you're pretty much looking at a minimum of 6 months, but maximum of potentially a year, depending on what that car sees. Hans Closen says, G. Davis or Luke should be the host, then nothing will ever go wrong ever. Of course not. That would not be a bad decision at all.
I'm not sure how that works, but I'd love to see him try.
Delphine Bez says, I wanted to purchase my first polisher until I realized I also need a mini polisher for small places. This is quite an investment. So, Delphine, one thing to keep in mind, you also need a European because of French plugs. Yeah, that's true. So, I don't know if they make Porter cables over there. I don't know if they have them available to you with French plugs on them. But like a 7424, the 3-inch backing plate, that's what I use personally, and I freaking love that thing. It has been through hell and back. It's been dropped. It's fallen off of things. I've swapped the backing plate more times than I can count, and that thing has never let me down. It's an amazing little machine. And so if I were to eventually get rid of that, then yes, I would like to bump up to a 3-inch Rupes, but that's when that time comes. Kickoff says, well, a Showstopper or Beadmaker, 2 different products. I can't tell you which one to go with. Showstopper if you like going to shows and you need gloss but no protection. Beadmaker if you need kind of an all-in-one.
And that's something I did want to address because I saw that when Pan did his video, I saw the comments. That was like the #1 question that came up every time. And it just shows I don't think people understand the difference in the products. Yes, Beadmaker does give you an awesome gloss, but it is not a gloss enhancer product. It's just a protection product that happens to have really good gloss and slickness and water characteristics. But Showstopper, yeah, that is pure gloss, 0 protection. It will not change the water behavior over whatever it's put on top of.
Correct.
You will get the characteristics in terms of water behavior of whatever it's on top of, not from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
G. Davis says, thanks for doing these. Love you guys. I'll be praying for a continuing of the 2-hour Q&A.
You know, G, I thought the 90-minute idea is not a bad one.
It's not bad.
We could just shave it down a little bit, try that out, see how we like it. Yeah. And it'll still feel like a longer show.
Got Brian G saying, oh, hey, Anthony. I tried helping you out on the most liked person. I love awkward dad jokes. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate your contribution. It is greatly appreciated. And yeah, it's funny. I've actually had people reach out to me and say that they have the same sense of humor as me. Like they love the awkwardness. They love the weird pauses.
When it's awkward, it's like intentionally he's going for that. It's not like, oh God. I mean, it is awkward, but he's going for that.
There's people that like it, and like one person said that like I like it when you'll say a joke and then you'll look around and you won't hear anything, so say no, nobody. Okay, never mind. Okay. And so
a certain scene for getting Sarah Marshall brings up that.
Oh yeah, dude.
Moment.
Mahalo, man. That's just kind of how my humor is. I'm glad some people like it, but it's not for everybody. That's for sure. Venom96600 says, so I'm going down the soft 99 Fuso coat. So I'm going down I'm done with the ceramic coatings, but the solvents in Fuso stain the trim and rubber bad. So if I get it on there, same process, the old polish or different? Correct, yes. So here's the deal with modern any wax. I mean, any wax that has body to it, right? Such as Contact 121 or even Malo wax, right? Will have solvent in there because that's what's going to basically sustain the body of what the wax actually is, right? And so that's common. It's totally normal. So really, I would say tape off your trim before applying the wax. I mean, if you're using a compound that doesn't stain. Now, if you're using like TLC, for example, which doesn't stain, or Hyper Polish that doesn't stain, then you're totally fine to not do any taping there. When it comes to actually applying the product, you can tape off the trim, or you can just be extra careful. And that's, you can do two different things there. But typically, though, you have a lot more room for error if you do get a wax, such as Soft 99 or any other wax, onto the trim. If you remove it immediately, you're not going to have an immediate staining issue or a long-term staining issue. If you leave it on there, if it sits there for a while, or if you miss a spot and it goes out in the sun and bakes, then you're going to have a staining issue. But if you're pretty proactive about it, you should be just fine.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we close out here, I don't know. I haven't heard your opinion, Morgan. What do you think? You like 1 hour, 2 hours, 90 minutes?
I like 1 hour because my attention span isn't very long, and it's hard for me to pay attention.
Fair.
So.
Fair points. How about you, Anthony?
I think we can agree that he doesn't have a long attention span either.
I don't have a long attention span, and I will admit that it is hard for me. I can talk about the same stuff quite a bit, but after about a year, I can start to feel the wear of like the same questions, and that's okay.
And it's
that's
part
how
of
it
doing
is.
a Q&A.
It's part of doing it.
If you keep yourself limited to detail.
Yes,
and that's where we have a difference.
And that's the thing, and so that's why we get off on these tangents, because I'm like, oh, I can do 2 hours if we're having fun about this all day.
If we're talking like friends, just talking about things and detailing comes up once in a while. That's the way we actually prefer to talk about this stuff, and that does make us different from a lot of the detailing stuff. But I do think, that might make some people feel like they're alienated because they're like, oh, I came here for detailing answers, and there's all this other stuff.
So my answer would be, Dane, if it was 2 hours, it would be maybe an hour to an hour and a half of pure detailing content, if that's that's the area we want to go, and then half an hour of our same old fun selves to be able to make that tolerable. But if it was if it had to be shaved down to an hour, I'd say, here's your dose of detailing info, and that's it.
You know what's fun?
See you next week.
There is a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but there's one where they do like a news show, and their first half of their show is like all straight news stories. They do commentary, all that stuff, and it can be a little funny, but it's mostly focused very clearly on the stories. And then they have something they call the fun half, and they start a theme song that gets kind of goofy, and it's all like a bunch of wacky voices, and then it turns into, okay, this is the fun half. This is where we take callers and stuff, and then it's just anything goes, and that's fun. So I like that idea. Maybe we do an hour that's just focused on detailing, and then a half hour that's just, all right, now we can goof off with friends. And I think maybe that's the happy medium.
Yeah, I think I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Dane, take it away.
All right. This has been a fun 2019. Guys, I'm glad you were here with me. I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anybody else. Thank you. Thank you. And that goes for you guys, too. We really appreciate you guys listening. And, we got Venom here. I think 90 minutes is fair, but if an hour is what you guys want, go for it. The fact you guys do this every Thursday is awesome. Thank you so much for your time and help with everything. That's why we do it. We care about you guys, and we want to grow this audience, so we need you guys to tell your friends, too, about it. And maybe if we tighten things up a bit, it'll appeal to a broader audience. We'll see about that. But we won't lose our original touch that makes us who we are. So don't worry. That's not going anywhere. We're just going to, tweak a little bit, tune it some. But, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't taken that survey yet, please do so. I put it in a pinned comment at the bottom of this video on YouTube on the Rag Company channel. Make sure you check it out. Follow the link, fill it out. If you've already filled it out, it'll say you have, so you don't have to worry about that. But that's it, guys. Have a great, great 2019. I hope it's been good for you, too. And 2020, here we come.
Here we come.
All right. See you guys.
It's funny. I never got your list. It must have fallen out of the sleigh.